So, you were really insistent on showing this one to me, huh?
Well, it's a year anniversary of this, and not much has improved.
I kind of figured. Hello and welcome to a Dice Scum Live. The name is Adam.
I'm ImpCit, and the anniversary in particular is for none other than Cthulhutech.
Only 2% of that book was rape. That's about all I remember from it. I was
Yeah,
not very impressed.
so for some reason, I guess there was a Kickstarter for a second edition of Cthulhutech, and the creator decided to revise and fix up the mistakes. Unfortunately, by that he meant split the book pretty much in half between the Guyver fights, but with the cults and the mechs shit.
I think the problem is his scope is just way out of whack.
It absolutely is, and this has led a stunning 600-page player's guide.
You know, the last time I've seen such excellent design decisions, it was in a little book called The Genesis. I was going to say Mage the 20th Anniversary Edition, but the Genesis kind of also is in that same boat. This one
There's
has
a
a lot of problems, though, at least
I
compared
will
to the other two.
I will keep defending Genesis. It's at least an interesting looking game.
It uses its page spacing badly, but it still used it better than this book does. So, with that in mind, let's crack it open. And wow, that's some pixel ass art, man. Jesus Christ. You can see, I'm not even that zoomed in, and you can see the pixelation on this person's face, this harpy thing's face. Yeah, this is very confidence inducing. Jesus Christ.
This, I believe, is the newest art.
Did he commission it via ants? Did he have an army of driver ants make this?
Let's
Look,
see.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but you know, when you do a book cover, you probably should put your best effort first since you want to draw people in. And don't get me wrong, there's some good conceptual designs. You have snake people, Guyver fights in the streets, you have Scar racing. You have a lot of good stuff here. But I'd have probably focused on one of them.
Also, I want to advise people. So this was Kickstartered, uh, and it was the amount gained $76,411 from 771 backers.
That's not too unreasonable for a book project like this. Yeah, especially given the page length and if he's making physical copies, is he?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty reasonable amount of money to just get that going.
Yeah, hardcover. They got that.
Okay, yeah, that's completely reasonable. What is unreasonable is I can assure you right now that based on the formatting, I could tell you I could cut this book down by about, I would say rather confidently 200 pages, maybe even
Oh, absolutely.
250.
And
So,
it really
so
is.
much money wasted. I don't know about that, Jimmy. The book had some things that were
Yeah.
interesting.
And I have to say, a lot of it comes down to the fact that instead of giving one set of mechanics, they go with three systems.
It's because the creator is not capable of just letting go of a concept. Personally, if you told me if you put a gun against my head and told me, Adam, you gotta make a Cthulhutech book, what are you gonna do? Well, first I would say pull the trigger. But secondly, if I really had to, I'd probably focus on the cyberpunk aspect and I would twist it to be more organic tech. The Guyver concept is a good idea. Doing that Guyver biosuit concept, great idea. Have it be essentially the unholy love child of 80s dystopian anime sci-fi and just stuff that Mike Pondsmith would make, and I think that would work out pretty well. The mecha fights, that overly complicates things.
Well, don't worry, don't worry. They're going to put this into a hybrid RPG minis game, which might actually be the best thing for it.
I mean, if you're gonna do a mecha fight, yeah, you can just kind of rip off BattleTech, and that kind of works out just fine.
I do really hope that the guy isn't thinking, yes, we can be a competitor to BattleTech and Gundam.
He might be. I don't know, man. This guy genuinely took Drow and put them into the setting, saying this is gonna be fire, bro. So here's the table of contents, which this is some of the worst table of contents I've ever seen in my life. I hate how this is organized. I on every level hate how this is organized. Look at this shit. It's not in a
This is
clean list. It doesn't give you. And by the way, since this guy is really trying, because apparently a lot of the design ethos into this is to make it fit on a tablet, where are your hyperlinks to your pages?
fit on a tab. It's over 200 megabytes.
That sounds like a
Like
you problem. Suffer. Yeah, this thing is not very well optimized, and I don't know where all of its size filing is from. It's kind of nuts. So I really
but
want to go into the foreword because there's a lot of funny shit in this. This is what actually made me want to do this. So, by the creator, it's funny how a person can change in 20 years. When I started this project, I was a malcontent moving from an industrial music scene to polite society and not enjoying it very much. I was single, angry, drunk, and generally fun to be around. Fast forward 2 decades, industrial music is long dead, and I'm settled a family man who, if I have to admit, is pretty domesticated. As the creator changes, so does the creation, which worked out very well for George Lucas. I very much enjoyed his early seasons of the Clone Wars, where where they had the main character relearn lessons they learned a season ago and just added godlike beings just because fuck it. Hey, yeah, let's have a scene where the guy who's destined to become Darth Vader because his wife dies. Let's have him bring back his apprentice from the fucking dead, but also say that he only loses his memories of becoming Darth Vader. Excellent fucking writing there, George.
oh,
Excellent writing there, Dave.
was that George's rating? I thought that was Filoni's.
The Mortis arc was in season 3, so George Lucas okayed it. He was still on board and paying attention. So yeah, yeah. Clone Wars isn't as good as you remember. If you like 80s action shows, it ain't too bad, but it ain't massively
That
amazing
explains
storytelling.
why I was fine with the first few seasons.
So
Yay,
first
clones
off,
shooting robots.
100% less unnecessary edge. So there's only going to be 1% of this book becoming rape. That's good to know.
We also hold on, you forgot. We also need to declare that we stand against systemic racism and sexism and stand for inclusion and respect, as well as victims' rights to speak out and seek justice.
I forgot. I actually glazed over that. My brain just it erased it because that is so performatively pathetic, and it gets
D-
worse when he covers his crappy OC race.
Dude, you made some cringe and somewhat offensive and inappropriate shit. You start off with the fact that yeah, you were probably in what your 20s at the time.
You made a diddling module. That was a big fucking mistake. It's okay
You
to own up
recognize
to that and take the
yeah,
L.
you recognize that. Move on. You don't need to flagellate yourself.
In fact,
Not even
actually, it
White
makes
Wolf
you look more
flagellated itself,
embarrassing.
and they made Gypsy.
Yeah, you just say whoopsie doopsie, I fucked up, and then moved on. You take the L and move on. You don't do this weird sorry I said wrong thing whip. Sorry I made bad ideas. It just doesn't work. It never works. And in fact, it kind of makes it more funny that you did this because oh man. So 100% unnecessary edge. The first version of Cthulhutech had some material which was insensitive and offensive. It was a product of its time, which included my blind spots as a young man. This questionable content has been removed from the game because it wouldn't be appropriate for Cthulhutech. I am seeking to get the modern audience of today, which are not the people who funded Cthulhutech, probably.
Uh,
The people who funded it probably were actually fans.
yeah, and those could have and remember, if they were like this guy 20 years ago, yeah, a good percentage of them went a bit fundamentalist in a left-wing way.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm of the mind that it's okay to keep some of the crap. Although, admittedly, he also did that. There's this horrible book that we actually considered doing for the show. No, it would just get yoked from the fucking channel. It would just get
You get
like,
raped. Your character gets raped, or you are manipulated committing rape against a child of Shub-Niggurath. By child, I mean
It's a furry.
it's a furry adult humanoid, not actual children. There is an image though of that, of a bunch of men selling some child in a sailor uniform.
Middle
And
school
yeah, I will
aged
agree.
children,
That is
because
offensive. That is offensive, and that shouldn't be in here. You didn't do it in the appropriate horror that it should have been. I'm pretty sure you were
no, it's just
intending it to
straight up.
be.
Sometimes you just don't. That's one of those times where you just don't. Just don't.
So he also laments the Nazadi.
Oh no! Before then, he whines about the satanic panic. I heard personally from people in my life nonsense that if you burn your D&D character sheet, it will scream. So apparently, this
Yeah,
person survived the satanic panic, which makes this kind of a bit funnier. It just goes into it.
yeah.
Cries about swearing off the gaming industry. I'd switched to film and was making a good living doing it. I rather doubt that. Were you in a 5-man apartment and you just paid for the eggs? Was that what you did? In my
Let me
experience, if you go into entertainment, you're not making good money.
let me
And
see what's
destroy,
in there.
improve, rebuild. The mantra from the Faderhead song of the same name runs up my philosophy when approaching legacy properties. So, completely destroy everything that made you fucking iconic. At least he's thinking about improving and rebuilding it. Not many people think of that when they tear apart
Yeah,
what they've worked on.
like again, you look at it from 20 years later. I mean, we looked at it from 20 years later, and we saw the signs of of what was bad.
Well, I mean, I'll be blunt. I just don't like the concept of this.
Let's see. So, but then we have the Nazadi. He's
This
always
is the
loved the
least
Dark
interesting.
Elves,
I
much like Ed Greenwood, and somehow thought, wait a minute, I made them pitch black, therefore they paralleled the struggles of African descent.
that might
You
be
know,
the weirdest fucking
the
thing I've
genet
ever heard of.
the genetically engineered creatures that are given false memories and sent to Earth to fight us, then realize that no, we're actually the same, and then fight against the aliens, and also be somewhat nudist, and also have psychic powers or whatnot. Um, yeah, that's basically the same thing as black people.
Yes, I too remember in the year 1900 when Jamar and Jamal came from the stars to bring their people to an exodus to this planet. I
I
remember
mean, there
that.
was.
That's when black people showed up in
I
photos.
mean, he might be thinking of a certain Dutch film.
Does he think that's a historical account? Does he think
That
it's a
would be an interesting,
documentary?
like Delta Green or Call of Cthulhu thing. Alien shop. It's gay black people.
But yeah, I never cared for the Nazadi. I think I remember saying, "Who gives a shit?" when we talked about them. It's just such a I don't care about this because your big thing is fighting eldritch abominations, and you're using the Cthulhu name. You're using Lovecraft to prop up your world building, right? I'm in here because you're telling me I get to fight deep ones. I don't care about your shitty bootleg dark elves. I just don't.
Uh, Other things. The book here is designed to be minimalist for tablets.
Bullshit.
600 pages.
200 megabytes. How,
Now,
if it's minimalist, how the fuck did you get a file size that big? I'm actually curious. Did you just slap the pictures in full mounted?
the Guide to Glorantha, both parts total about 800 pages. And that's Glorantha.
By the way,
That's a
I
50-year plus game.
I think on top of that, I think it's a smaller file size. Could you check that? I don't want to be wrong, but I think it's a better file size because they
Yeah,
optimized it by not
let
slapping
me
the
check.
pictures in.
Yes, in total it's about 160.
You're really telling me you couldn't optimize this? I'm what I think happened is he just slapped the pictures on there. Did no file reduction at all. Cthulhutech, where This new Cthulhutech has taken a very long time, and our journey has been fraught with peril. It's taken us a lot of time and effort to get Wildfire back to a point where Cthulhutech was even possible. So basically, it took a while for this to happen. People usually skip this part, but it's important anyway. There are some people who deserve special recognition for their influence on Cthulhutech. There would be no Cthulhutech without these people, the other founders of Wildfire, who have moved on to other eras of their lives. So the reason it took so long for second edition is those two probably did most of the formatting. I get the feeling that Grau was mainly the writer guy.
Probably but also I'm guessing
Maybe
they're all
logistics.
they're all adults now that have a lot more responsibilities. I mean, Grau himself has children.
True. That is true.
This is a side project.
You create success. We are a small team doing this as a passion project because we love Cthulhutech. Small businesses rely on word of mouth, so please spread the word if you like this game. Um,
We'll spread the word. If you are
unfortunately,
interested in what we're reviewing, then yeah, support him.
I did
I
actually
actually
link to the description the quick rules play. It's in the
I
description of
actually
this
yeah,
stream.
I actually would like to see the mechs as a miniature person. Those
True,
might be
you
cool.
are the person that keeps trying to advocate for Trench Crusade, even though the only thing that's interesting about it is it uses refluffed Moortime rules.
Yes.
That's literally the only point of interest I have in Trench Crusade, and even then, I don't need Trench Crusade to run those rules. So we
But
actually
it's
get to
also
the introduction now.
so they say, what kind of game is this? A science fantasy role playing game set in a high tech near future Earth. Why would I want to play this game? To play outlaw magical superheroes.
I was joking when I actually wrote this as Outlaw Star, but with the deep ones. What the fuck? Matt, why? That was supposed to be a joke, and you proved it in page 8? Why did you do
And
this?
we now go on to explain this like a role playing game, what dice you need. Cthulhutech is dice agnostic. Keep that in
What the
mind.
fuck?
Keep that in mind. As long as they're even sided.
Why? I'll, Look, if you're gonna run a tabletop game, you're probably gonna want to specify the dice. And here's something that can actually really help you. A little bit of advice for people who want to play around with dice agnostic games. Just use D6s. It's actually much more effective in general because they're easier to get. And better yet, you have a chance, especially since you're coming at this with a bit of weeaboo, sparkles in your eyes. You might actually even make a little bit of a footprint in Japan. They actually really like Cthulhu, so that might work.
So, Pagan Pilot, it's not a miniatures game. They're planning for the mech portion of the game to be miniatures related.
Basically, what happened was they realized this game is a clusterfuck of rules, so they had to break it apart into 1.5 games.
So, how does the game work? There are 10 types of actions, 6 simple and 4 complex. And for simple actions, there's 3 styles of play. You can use fundamental, which is using dice in which you roll attribute plus skill, roll those number of dice. Each even result is a hit, and your goal is to get a number of hits equal to or greater than the difficulty. Avant-garde minimizes dice and is highly narrative, where you'll spend attributes and skills as resources. And the mix system allows you to resolve simple actions as you do in the fundamental, but you will have the option to spend shots to guarantee successes when it's critical.
Or, and maybe hear me out, don't try to get the critical role guys to play your game because they won't, because it's not Pathfinder or it's not D&D. They won't do it. And just
It's also not their game,
not at all.
so
So feel free to just only do the fundamental. It makes your book shorter, and there's no need for this.
and complex are handled by rolling the appropriate amount of dice and comparing the result to the pool generated by the GM.
So
We're basically rolling
that's
against
the
the
other
GM.
reason the avant-garde system, there's no point in adding this.
Well, no, that's those for the 6 simple actions. This is for the 4 complex actions.
And it would be simpler just to have one unique system. In this case, just go with fundamentals and then have the complex be the same way.
And then don't forget your Tiger symbionts. 3 styles of play. Streamlined, which is for one-shots. Dynamic uses full customization, using a charge
This
system to
is the
craft their own
mechas for
attack.
those curious. These
No,
are the. Oh
this
wait,
is
no, these are the Guyvers.
these are the Guyvers.
Jesus
And
Christ.
blended is to do a middle ground between the two.
So now there are 6 different rule sets to make this even more confusing.
Yes.
By the way, just straight up, you don't want to do one column style editing. That wastes a lot of page count, and on top of that, it can be a bit tiring to read. I mean, in this case, the font's large enough. This is basically the reason this book is so long is it's kind of gone the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter route of just using a relatively large font and just wasting a fuckload of pages. That's why the Goblet of Fire and Order of Phoenix are so fucking long.
Wait, that's why they were long?
I mean, they are
Son of
far
a
longer
bitch.
in general to the other novels in the run, but that's the other reason because yeah, it doesn't use its pages that well.
Damn you, you turf author.
So then there's the Eldritch Society and Tagers, which I guess have their own rules. Oh
No,
no, they don't.
that's just lore. You're playing a Guyver fighting against a corporation that worships Nyarlathotep.
Okay.
And then we get on to the influences. Howard Phillips Lovecraft, The Dark City, Guyver, Hellblazer, Wicked City, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Razafon, and Robotech.
So basically a bunch of 90s anime that he listened to as he was just trying and failing to run an industrial band.
Yes.
Also, it's kind of damning that I can tell you that this is not in order of precedence because, let's be fucking honest, this is Lovecraft in name only. It has much more to do with Guyver, and it has a lot more to do with Evangelion.
My Delta Green postal inspector just throws C4 for his action and hides.
That'd be an improvement. I'd rather play Delta
Yeah.
Green than this in a heartbeat. By
But
the way,
now we
it
get in.
uses Paizo's open RPG creative license, mainly just to avoid getting destroyed. I think they originally used OGL, but then Wizards did it Wizards. And then we get to the world history, which we did cover from what I remember in the original.
We did. We did. There is a bit of variation. I remember it was saying. Actually, I do have the regular core rulebook. I can possibly just look up to see exactly what it was. Because it is saying that. Okay, yeah, no, there is a difference. So, in the original game, it was in order to fight terrorism and pursuit of civil rights, force the NATO and United Nations to combine, um, and then eventually establishing a new United Nations.
Because he really wanted to use the acronym NONE.
Well, also for the fact that it was stagnant economy, military police actions. Um, Instead, it's a pandemic, the SARS, in order to get the SARS vaccine to everybody.
Do you want to know why he used the word SARS?
Because he didn't want to use COVID.
Actually, no, here's the real reason. Because SARS was caused by a disease, by a virus strain from the same family. SARS was a
Ah.
coronavirus.
So next year in 2026, the new United Nations will form to have authority over international health emergencies, international law, and trade tariffs.
So basically, the crazy guy who was gibbering about black helicopters is right. Just warning you, he's right. Also, the birth of arcanotechnology, even though oh yeah, magic. Yeah, they
Yeah,
discovered magic,
they discovered magic. It drove people insane, but they were able to get the D engine, which was a power source. Ignore the screaming.
which is a nod to the Evangelion engines powered by mothers being thrown into them.
It's also how they decided to build mechs because those piloting D engine transports got extrasensory perception, while passengers felt anxious and disoriented.
Okay, so mecha in general. Mecha usually only gets brought up because of visual stylings now, but originally the concept, at least in Gundam, was to explain that the reason mechs worked so well is they were basically hyper advanced space fighters that punched well above their weight because they had miniature reactors in them. Since they're in space, they don't really care about things like aerodynamics, which means they can fly around and just blast you with vernier engines. It was also supposedly an evolution of construction equipment. I don't think these were done as construction equipment.
Nope. Let's see what else. The Chrysalis Corporation decides to spend tons of money again on finding magic. They find the Necronomicon and get taken over.
Which is
They
stupid
also
because there's at least several other copies of. Okay, so this is why I know for a fact Lovecraft is in the backslide and that his experience with it is probably just watching the movies that were based on Lovecraft's works. So here's the thing, right? There's quite a few copies of the Necronomicon. There's the one in Miskatonic, there's one in Cambridge, and there's several others in not just United States territories, but also in United Kingdom. Most of them are translated from Olaus Wormius's Latin because he made a very accurate translation of it in the 16th century. There's a I think they're no wait, the last copy of the Greek version was burned by a
now
was
this
burned
this
by
is
a
a
fundamentalist preacher.
no.
In
This
the,
is a Spanish version.
oh, they actually translated it into proper Spanish now?
Well, an undead sorcerer, Joseph Kerwin, resides in Spain, and that's how they found an intact and uncensored copy.
Wait a minute. I think did this guy actually reference because there's a weird manga where like the descendant of Dr. Armitage is like half Shub-Niggurath or something.
Could be,
I think
but
that might be
most
a
of
reference to
here's
that.
the thing: most of this is pretty much everything that we discussed beforehand.
So yeah, the rise of Mecha, they
Like
exist now.
the only thing I would point out is that they have changed the Rapine Storm to the Ravening Storm because they raven instead of rape.
You know that's basically from the same word origin, right?
Exactly. But other things that happen, the
Also
new
the
United
Migo, which
Nations.
I don't know
Yeah,
why he spells it this way. I have double checked both times before the original stream and then during this one. Migo is never spelled this way. I don't know if he's trying to animeify it because of his influences being more based on stuff like Evangelion and Ra Zemphon, or if it's just a case of he wanted to keep the rights to it even though they're public domain.
um,
Also, the Necronomicon was definitely originally written in Arabic. I believe it was the court language of Yemen by the Arab Abdul al-Hazred, a poet that eventually went insane and was torn apart by old ones, I think, or spawn of old ones. It was then translated into Greek by a dude who was burned at the stake. Most Greek copies have been burned completely by the mid 17th century, late 17th century. But before then, it was then translated into Latin. Well, it was translated into Latin twice by two Wormiuses. There's the medieval Wormius who was made up, and then there's the actual Elias Wormius, which was what Lovecraft intended to, but got the date wrong.
hmm,
And then there is the English translation by Dr. John Dee, which is mostly referenced in the Dunwich Horror. It has been translated multiple times. There are multiple copies that you can find in a lot of libraries in Lovecraft's setting, which makes them trying to find the Necronomicon really frickin' stupid. It would be actually what would make more sense if you told me they found the Nakonic manuscripts or something. That's a lot harder to get your hands on, or the
yeah.
Akashic texts.
Let's see. They then add
Or
stuff
just
in
make
this
something
lore
up.
that
You could actually call it the dream cycle. Like they actually get their
yeah.
holdings on the dream realms, like a scribe from the dream realms.
So they then add stuff that was introduced in like the later books because they were trying to go with a meta plot, like the Migo unleashing a pandemic that killed hundreds of millions of people, and the return of the colonies. There was the independent solar colonies that I guess got separated when the Migu attacked. They went to Pluto, blew up a bunch of shit in Pluto, came back, and now it's the New Soul Coalition.
Well, no, there's other moments where they just kind of rip off from anime. Like Chrysalis makes monsters. Congratulations, you just made the Zoonoids again from Guyver. Okay.
They they also have retcon instead of the Nizati just taking over Cuba. They've just landed in the Caribbean.
That doesn't really change much.
Well, it doesn't mean that they genocided the Cubans.
It still doesn't really change much. And also, like, look at all this effort on this race that I don't give a single fuck about.
The other thing also to note is that Shub Niggurath doesn't exist. Instead, there's Shub Nagarath. You know, naggers.
Even though the entire point is it's a corruption of the word Niger, which is the black in the black goat of the woods. That's where it comes from, you moron. So more meta plot, which I just don't give a rotten shit about. Even more Eldritch Society lore. The Shadow War begins, and I don't give a shit about the Nazadi. Look at how much effort this idiot has put into them. I just don't care.
Like all this lore and shit. Um,
I am about as interested and attentive to this as Azathoth is in the workings of Earth. That is to say, I'm too busy screaming and gibbering.
the other basic thing is so the whole Tagers come from the discovery of these Tage fragments that the Eldritch Society took from the Chrysalis Corporation, and so they're able to bond people to these symbiotes.
Is this actual biomechanical horror tech that's usually Kino? It kind of is, but he doesn't really go into a lot of details into it. Well, actually, he kind of does. Apparently, in this book, there's going to be a battery powered by babies. Apparently. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's just more meta plot. I don't care.
Yeah. page 58 is where we
Look at
start
all
getting
look at all
actual
this
new
look at
shit.
all this bloat. Look at all this crap.
It bloats like Shub Nagarath on her
I mean, they kind of
third
go into
day of
details
pregnancy.
about the world settings and like the different bodies of government, but who cares at this point? You had 10 pages to interest me and you fucking lost me. Again. Oh, by the way, nice tracing of the tyrant from Resident Evil 2, jackass. No, that's Nemesis. Mr. X when he got burned and came back. That is literally a retraced copy of that fucker. I'm not even kidding. That is actually traced Resident Evil art. High quality.
It also looks like an anamorph.
Ah, God, the Nazadi again. Don't give a shit. I don't care about your drow bootleg, buddy. But now there are new races that you can play, like the Catkin of Ulthar, the Hidden,
Yes.
and High Ghouls.
Well, no, Ravenkind of Carcosa, which is kind of odd because Pasture is here.
Also,
Who's running?
on top of
Who's
that,
running Carcosa?
no one really mentions the inhabitants of Carcosa other than they're probably dead or just completely otherworldly. They wouldn't be bird-like. It depends on
Maybe
which
it's.
iteration, because one of the earliest stories involving Carcosa is it was a city that's been long fucking dead, so the dude was basically a ghost.
I mean, it could be an Edgar Allan Poe reference.
I don't think this dude's smart enough to come up with that.
But here's another group, the Tcho-Tcho,
Hey, he might have played a
in
Delta
which
Green game that actually
in
involved
which
them.
human-like natives of Leng are the descendants of South Asian people who stumbled into otherworldly plateaus. In which, okay, yes, you're following with the trend of they're not depictions of actual human beings; they're separate things.
Well, they weren't. Like, the Tcho-Tcho, from what I understand, were, like, in lore, they were supposed to be a split off of Heidelberg Man or something. They're not Neanderthal, but they're basically, when Heidelberg Man split into, like, Neanderthal, Denisovan, and early human Cro-Magnon, Tcho-Tcho was like a fourth split off that happened,
Ooh,
from what I
be
remember.
fun.
So they're different species, from what I recall.
So it's okay to genocide them, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know. We did it to the Neanderthals. Then Viperborn. Hey, you know the snake people?
Yeah, the snakes, the serpents of Velusia. That's actually a nice reference. I
Hmm.
am surprised. Do they mention Yig? Because I'd be surprised that. No, they don't. Okay.
No, not no. Because remember, you're a combination of serpent and human.
Also in fairness, Yig's stories are not that particularly riveting.
And then the Waveborn.
Which are
They're not
basically
deep.
defective not old ones, deep ones.
Yeah, they're not. They're not deep ones.
No, they are deep. They are of deep ones, but there's a defect in them that prevent them from becoming deep ones. They only pick up some of the fish traits.
Now, I'm surprised humanity was so tolerant of all this. Like,
I
actually,
mean, they're
genuinely, I
only
am.
fighting an existential war for survival.
Yeah, but this is humanity we're talking about.
That's what I mean. Humanity's only fighting an existential war for survival. I mean, you know, it, okay. Yeah, I
Uh,
I believe that this wouldn't have a lot of horrible consequences to them.
and more adventures so you can possibly fight the Chrysalis children or the Chrysalis Corporation, dealing with the machinations of Ashcroft if they do some weird shit, hiding away from the Office of Internal Security because you're a gibbering monstrous creature, so they don't give a shit. They're going to shoot you on sight. The Church of All, which is the esoteric Church of Dagon, or the esoteric order,
That's one of the ways you can name them.
slash Scientology.
Which basically posits that humanity started from the waters or is destined to return to them.
And there we have it. So, the die. So, I would like to present page 69, the whole concept of the dice pool.
Also,
Remember,
well, before then, this crappy map that was assembled, this was from the first book, and I still disagree that the Migos should
n-
be on Antarctica.
it's a bit different actually because they now give us the esoteric Dagon territory. I think previously they had them on land, but now it's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, they're
they
just
did.
in control of the oceans. The
Also
ravening
notice that
storm.
also notice Cuba's part of the New Soul Coalition and not part of his Drow race.
Yeah. Um, there's a no
Because
man's land
originally
where
the
Lang
Drow
is,
had their own.
and the ravening storm took Australia.
What did they mean by this? Also, I find it fitting that for some reason Japan and Korea are fine. Also, the Philippines for some reason.
Listen, the North Koreans are just doing what they did previously, just waves and waves.
He goes
Um,
into some details about the Shadow War, and oh my god, it's
yeah,
just so boring.
but I want to explain how the dice system works.
The Migo
So
are
again,
going to the Mountains of Madness? Yeah, maybe they're trying to find
yeah,
something.
so you need to use any dice with an even number of sides, including a coin
You can actually use coins, yeah.
or
Uh,
pogs. They're in pog. Hey, look, it's Cthulhu in pog form.
hey, I can finally use my Pog collections for good things rather than hoard them. Oh, you know those tokens that I forgot to cash in at that local arcade when it went out of business 20 years ago? I can use them now. I can use my
Mm.
arcade tokens that I can't refund anymore.
And now we have a full 4 pages
Wait, no, you forgot
to.
the other one. You could flip toast. If it's butter side down, that's odd. If it's
All right.
butter side up, it's even. This is why you need to clarify on dice. Just say D6s. It's not that hard. No
Now,
D100s? No. This is just slop. This is just a
now,
poorly thought out system.
now, pay attention to the fact that simple actions has 6 different options to notice details, demonstrate competence, get physical, use force of personality, be sneaky, or push yourself. You and your game master will then work out which attribute and skill works best for the stated action.
Or maybe you should
Now,
just actually do a thing called skills. Like even
now,
even really rules light systems like Poke Roll fucking do that.
now, all of this stuff, they have a nice example here. They will then take up the equivalent of 3 pages to list even more details for what the simple action could use.
No, what you do instead is you create a skill tree. You create a list of skills, and then that's what you do. I fucking hate this. Look at this waste of page. Look at all this waste. People
And
actually criticize the Alien RPG books as wasting space, and they do. But
so,
you know what they do? They look pretty when they do it.
all right, yeah, there's no D100s.
You
It's
can
not
use them
a
though,
it's not a D100 system. Instead, it is you're rolling a dice, and if you get even, it's a hit.
which is why I would just recommend doing D6s. It makes it easier for everyone involved because everyone has D6s. Even if you just play board games or had a board game like 20 years ago, you could probably find a random D6 in your house.
And they give us so challenging. So most of the time, you'll need 3 hits, with nearly impossible being 7.
Okay, so this is based on, I believe, what was it, the combination of skill and attribute, and okay.
Yeah, this is a modified World of Darkness system, which is better than the last one, which was you roll your dice for your attribute plus skill, and then get the highest number. The highest, you add that to your attribute skill total, or if you have doubles, you take that, or if you have a straight, as like for example 4, 5, 6, and a 9, you take the 4, 5, 6 and add it up. This is much more simpler.
This is simpler. However, my rebuttal for this is what would have made more sense is you just go full World of Darkness and just set what's called a difficulty standard. Like for example, or you could do like what Shadowrun does, or what Pokeroll does. Set it to D6s. You have a D6 dice pool, and you need for a standard difficulty, you would need to get fours or above. Fours or above, and based on how hard the task is, you need that many successes. Then for harder ones, you could either raise it to fives or sixes. It depends on how you want to do this. I think just fours and above is simpler to get because it just allows you to potentially hit. It's
Yeah.
more fair
Yes. Then you have
and it just
edge,
makes more sense.
which is your modifiers. Uh, Unsealed actions, you just use the attribute. Teamwork can help.
By the way, if you're wondering
Num-
how Edge works, ironically, this is similar to Pokeroll. It takes or adds dice depending on if it's a positive or negative score. If you have positive edge, you add an extra die. If it's negative, you subtract a die.
yeah. And then again, complex actions, you're going to roll the total of attributes plus. You're basically going to roll hits and then compare that to the number of hits that the GM rolls. And if you get higher, you win.
I will say, and I will confess, that this is definitely an improvement from the first edition. I can say that much. Still not really
But
something I'd want to play, though.
you don't need these long, elaborate, complex action, simple action, results and explanations.
No, I understand
Actually,
the
for the
explanations.
complex, you might, but
Yeah, like the
it's too
actions
much
edge makes
page
sense.
space.
Skill specializations, that makes sense. The duration of the success,
Mhm.
that's stupid. I don't think you need that. Alternate attribute and skill pairings, this is something that I think should be in what I would call the GM section.
What do you mean, the other book?
Oh, yeah, I forgot there's a second book. Unskilled actions only using your attribute. Okay, fair enough. Teamwork, fair enough. Honestly, this just seems like a less this is a less cooked version of Pokeroll, and that's a game made by fans.
But then we get to the avant-garde system,
Yeah, what's the point of adding these complex actions? Like, what's the complex actions? Do it better, really? Combat. Okay.
in which we're going over the same thing again, but remember, no dice rolls.
Wait. Oh, are we doing? Oh,
We're
Jesus
literally
Christ.
going over the same thing again, detailing out the simple actions, detailing out the complex actions to be used in that system, and then the mixed system, which is the only thing is that you take a simple action, and if you want shots, you get shots. Complex actions function in the avant-garde system. but that's like a
This
what is it?
sucks.
It's a 10-page bloat that you don't need.
You literally could just cut this all out and this would save so many pages.
But
Jesus
then we get
Christ. It just keeps going.
to the characters.
So let's skip the draft pick because this story means nothing. It really doesn't. He's just trying to copy the World of Darkness there. By the way,
Yep,
thanks asshole. Thanks asshole for using black page on white text. Nice job, jackass.
you blew it.
Your printers are going to scream.
So, the way it works is you choose your heritage,
Have to use heritage because race is bad.
even though these are
Literally,
separate
several
races.
of them are not even human. Like the Amladi,
Background
they're half alien. The Catkin
and
are not from this dimension. The Hidden
and
is its own species. Oh my god.
ghoul.
They
So
are
are ghouls.
actually different species, motherfucker.
All of these are different species. Because if the pairing of an Azadi and a human is a different species, then yes, all three of them are different species.
Uh,
Oh, don't forget that in your background, your Nazadi and Almaty benefit from being genetically purpose-built. You select either as your heritage, you choose one of 6 phenotypes and record their mechanics. Yay! Skin color-based powers!
but remember, we tried to get away from problematic decisions. I'm just keeping this in because I really like this stupid fucking race I made 20 years ago.
Yay! Inbuilt
They're not even
colorism.
that creative. I mean, for
You
fuck's
literally...
sake, they're a less
This is...
interesting version of the Greys. Remember the aliens in Delta Green? Same fucking concept, just not as good. God
Well,
damn.
no one in Majestic wanted to fuck the aliens.
That you know
Just wanted to
of.
fuck... No, they just wanted to fuck the machines.
That you know of.
Oh, that's true. So next up is choosing your Tiger symbiote,
What if I don't
and
want to be
then
a Guyver?
that's literally what this game is. You're playing as the Guyver.
But what if I don't want to play a Guyver?
Then this game isn't for you.
Oh, well, I mean, I could have told you that ages ago when he decided to introduce the fucking drow to the setting and made it more about fucking Guyver fights than, like, Cyberpunk Cthulhu.
Then we only have 4 attributes.
Oh,
Awareness.
I just realized the Cthulhutech legitimately is his pun on Robotech. It took me this long to get it. God damn it.
Oh,
That's terrible. It took me a fucking year to get that that's why it's called that. I was actually I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, hey, maybe it's Call of Cthulhu but done in a cyberpunk setting. That'd be pretty fun. No,
because
it's
otherwise it would be then it would be called Cthulhu Punk or Cyber Cthulhu.
I actually like the term Cthulhu punk. I'm just now envisioning a chromed up Cthulhu rising from Relia, and Relia is done in like Night City style, like it's non-Euclidean Night City. That could be
That would
really fun.
work.
No, and better yet, like okay, envision this. Like it's a cybered up Cthulhu, and he's dressed like a fucking corporate boss. Like he's dressed in like a full 3-piece suit as a monster thing. He has his board of Cthulhu spawn.
I need just in your dreams. I need you to hand over those TPS reports. Make
No,
sure
no,
they have the
and the
cover
best
sheet.
part about it is the company he runs operates a combination of virtual reality, which are micro dimensions. Like it's literally Magitech. Like virtual reality is just sub pocket dimensions where the rules of physics are suggestions. And their version of Wikipedia is run by the Haunter of the Dark, who, if you do
Hmm.
not pay in the appropriate blood sacrifice, will literally eat your brain.
All right,
I think I cooked
that's
up a
much
better
fun.
setting than this.
Well, let's see. We have for attributes awareness, physique, presence, and tenacity.
Okay.
Measured from 1 through 5, most have 2. Tigers can get more.
Okay.
Characters will always begin with an awareness, physique, presence of 2, and a tenacity of 3. modified, I believe, by your background.
You gain
And then,
insanity from looking at TPS reports from
uh,
Cthulhu Company.
you just, hey, Peter, what's happening?
What's that? Did you read the TPS
Yeah,
reports? I can kind of
I'm
tell you
gonna,
did because you're not
yeah,
wearing your pants and you're holding a knife to your throat.
I'm gonna need you to come in on the weekend. We got the sacrifice to do.
I'm going to need you to
I,
come in on the weekend because we have not only the sacrifice, but more importantly, we actually have a negotiation with the Elder Things in Antarctica in a week from now. So we need you to translate this from Relay speak to their musical piping. Here's some bagpipes and make sure to pronounce it correctly because the last time you didn't, the Shoggoths rebelled. It made our company look quite bad.
and we don't want that. Stock projections indicate that, when the stars are right, we'll actually get a quarterly bonus.
No, no, instead of the stock market, they actually do prognostications based on like ritual, like star rituals. They use literally astrology to calculate stocks.
This would go well with the whole hunters uh concept of like hunters being like a job.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could totally do Cthulhutech as not Cthulhutech, Cthulhu Inc. as part of Hunters Incorporated, I guess. I was
Yeah.
thinking more like if you just played it like a more fucked up version of Shadowrun, where the essentially the stars are right, but interestingly, the Elder Things didn't destroy humanity. Instead, they just kind of made it under new management,
And we
where
could
you have
totally
the
get
equivalent of the
people
old
to
ones being like the dragons.
yeah. We could totally also get a capitalism angle on this and get, people to think it's super woke.
Yeah, probably. Although I'd play it more like feudalism because, well, not even feudal. Actually, no, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. Part of the resistance are actually the Elder Things because remember, in lore, the eldest race, were known to be communists. I'm not even kidding. In the Mountains of Madness, when they did archaeology studies at the Lost City, they worked on a very socialistic system and free
Revolution
associations.
revolutionary bioeldritchism.
So I'm just envisioning a bunch of punks teaming up with fucking elder things to take on big bad Cthulhu.
They're men, yo. They were men. But let's see. Next is training. So you get a training package to define your skills. And then your skills, same thing, 1 through 5. You get specializations, you get your qualities, assets,
This is where
drawbacks,
the World of Darkness nods kind of
inherent.
come in. I know he wasn't like immediately basing on it, but the way it kind
Yeah.
of works reminds me of World of Darkness.
This is our um, um, psychology anchor.
This
Those who
would be
can,
the equivalent of touchstones in the
yep.
Chronicles of Darkness,
Then
or
there's your health.
humanity/integrity if you're playing Old World.
Yep. Notice. Notice is to uses your number of hits when your GM wants to see if you pick something up in the environment. And then your speed. You build your Tager and your personal details
Okay. So why the hell did he use the term Tagger for his crappy Guyver concept?
because they come from the Tage fragments. Tager.
Oh. I
Then
expected
let's see.
nothing and I'm still disappointed.
Other stuff. Your gear, names, your pack names. Because you're going to be together as Tagers, like a wolf pack.
I don't have
Because
any words to
I,
say
I
other than
since
this is surprisingly very German. Why are we being so German?
I sincerely believe that the Chrysalis Corporation is being retooled as much more of a Pentec style in this edition.
It might be, but because of the very German vibes, I'm just now having the dark shit post that it's actually not. It's actually not being run by Nyarlathotep. It's actually just one big anti-Semitic wolf whistle.
What?
Well, think about it. You're part of a very German-oriented theme of powered-up jackboots working together in U-boat style wolf packs to take on a mega corporation that is the epitome of global homo destruction.
Their base is in South America.
Ah!
But congratulations. We're all Nazis now.
I, I have to ask, are we the baddies? What do you mean? Well, reminder that my grandfather was the one responsible for the Cuban genocide. Also, we tend to be wearing the screaming exoskeletons made from, I think, orphans. Are we the baddies?
Listen, I'm from another dimension. I have no entire reference to this thing called Holocaust.
I'm going to be honest.
They
I'm from
only
another
kill. Wait.
dimension, and
They only
you all
killed.
look the same to
They
me.
only killed 12 million people.
No, I mean,
That doesn't seem like an awful
it's
lot.
like
Why are you all
taking out
worried
an
about that?
anthide. It's like taking out an anthide. Your species is fine.
Listen. I'm a ghoul. My family was proudly there, protecting people. We did eat
You
the
fed our
dead.
community. You fed our community for decades. It was great.
Oh, you're the Scheinbergers? Oh, I remember that guy. Oh, God, for surprisingly being in that camp for years, he had a wonderful muscular system.
We haven't ate good like that since.
Oh, not since the war.
I'm sorry, but
I
this this book has completely turned me off from every level humanly possible. So I have to find something to laugh at here.
uh, here's something to laugh at. Look at the catkin names.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make fun of the packmate names. You could play
Nah,
Knuckles. You could play you
or
could play
Nugget,
Knuckles the
or
Enchilada
T-Bone.
T-Bone. Are, is this like the unholy love child of SWAT cats and Sonic? Is
You
Razor on
wonder if
here?
you
Yeah, it is. Ah, man.
Reaper.
And again, really cares about his terrible fucking drow. I'm skipping that already.
They have a whole language and everything,
No
and
one
wonderful
cares.
breasts, beautiful, luscious musculature, and I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the catkin names.
A
Gray.
Bruja fundamentalist is more empathetic than these characters. Yeah, and they started the Soviet Union.
The hidden. They use bi- body language and gestures, and so they have our generic Native American names like So on Wind, Throne of Smoke.
No. These are failed guru names. Like these are
Oh, you're
achievement
right.
names you get as a member of the Guru Nation.
Tcho-Tcho, Waveborn, Viperborn, Ravenkin, your kind. But then let's see, we get to the humans, and they look surprisingly. Oh no, wait! Hi, Cyberpunk 2077.
I think that is the protagonist, isn't it?
That
Like
no,
that's the
that's the
male.
coat. Not that from Edge Runners. That is the fucking coat from Edge Runners.
It is. God damn it, you're right.
I also like that the lifespan now is 120 to 130 years. Given that billions have died, I actually think that would have dropped our average.
It should. Also, apparently they rule by a parliamentary democracy. Are you sure
Yes,
about that?
yes, it's just that's officially, but we're in a wartime setting, so
Also,
shut up.
despite the apparent improved lifespan, their heights have not changed. Neither have their weights.
Hmm. Then we have the Nizati, which, while revealing, again, it's not the whole fucking
Also, if you're wondering, you can definitely pick
crotchless
up
kind of
some
outfit.
backgrounds. You can also pick up some backgrounds like Salt of the Earth, Urbanite, blah blah blah. Sorry about that. Yeah, hey, check out these cool OC race.
Now, in addition to having these backgrounds, you also get your phenotype.
You
So
get
you
your
see,
phenotype.
yeah, the Akanali are tacticians. The Kedla are infiltrators. The Korakai are fighters, Nevari are scouts, Tanaki are science, and Zarati are pilots. And look at all those additional bonuses you get, of which 4 of them are the same attribute.
Piss off, Matt. By the way, on top of
Oh, and
this,
don't forget,
headspaces.
yeah, don't forget, you then get your Legion, which determines your skin color.
What can I even say about this?
Look how much detail we're giving to these people. Play them! Play them, please! I want you to play as the sexy female drow wife who will dominate me. Wait, no, that's Ed Greenwood. Um, the seductive, voluptuous, flirtatious, dark-skinned, exotic woman.
By the way, the best thing about this is this asshole has decided to waste our time by describing the Nazadi's contribution to cuisine.
Including ketchup chocolate cake,
So,
grape curry sandwich.
so these are all fucking terrible.
They decided to go Mexican and what people were using with the school lunch in my middle school.
Okay, so I need to go through this because I need to feel something, and this book is the equivalent of this book is the equivalent of eating spaghetti with store brand pasta sauce that you've done nothing to upgrade. It is intellectually dead for me. So let's go through. I want to fucking shit on these horrible ideas. So the deep fried Mexican Cubano sandwich. Well, first off, a Cubano sandwich is not necessarily Mexican. So Cubano sandwiches are from Cuba, and there's a lot of water between Cuba and Mexico. So, a Cubano it explains what a
How
Cubano
dumb is
is.
this human being? This is a human writing this.
I know. With a delicious mix of roast pork, ham, cheese, pickles, and yellow mustard. None of that is particularly Mexican, but throw a light spicy pepper jam on. Yeah, pepper jam, not
And,
smoked peppers, not
and,
actual quality. No, you pick the shit that what's that Jamie Oliver goddamn used chili jam. Gotta get my chili jam on. Yeah,
and add a little carne asada y cilantro. Es muy delicioso.
it tastes like soap.
Y-
By the way, I like the part where you don't flash fry it by covering it in any form of batter, so you just throw the whole fucking sandwich into the fryer.
Wait,
Just
Jack from Cooking with Jack writing this down.
I gotta write that down, guys. It tastes really good. So, ketchup chocolate cake is also really fucking terrible. So here's a cursed fact. There is actually something called a tomato cake, which actually tastes disturbingly like a good red velvet, but it requires you to actually use tomatoes and not overly sweet, overly processed vinegary ketchup.
Hmm.
That little touch of
Okay.
sweet ketchup throughout the moist chocolate cake is absolutely delicious. Yeah, if you like to vomit.
Salsa sundaes, vanilla ice cream, hot salsa, and tortilla chips.
No, that's just drunk food. That's food you make when you're
That
5 sheets to the wind. Like you're so drunk you don't even
my mouth
remember
is
what
my mouth
happened
is
the day
agape.
after.
My mouth is literally agape. I'm like, who in their right mind, even an alien culture, would look at that and saying, a salty, hard, brittle substance mixed with a heavy topping of cream, of heavy frozen cream, and salsa. That's going to be delicious.
Well, if it tastes like soap, your genetics specifically make it that way. That is true, Angel. The difference is sometimes that soap taste actually works. To me, it's kind of weird because sometimes it tastes like soap. Sometimes I get that kind of idea it's going for. They're trying to make them like Starfire from Teen Titans. Their taste is
Uh,
supposed to be funny, but this is
that
shit.
might be
That's
the
correct.
remember how Starfire expresses her love, how she's very, very loving. That could be
That makes
that.
me hate them more.
If that's the case. Then is his OC going to be named Dick?
So then there's the grape curry sandwich, which that's literally a soup sandwich. So let's go on.
Seafood Sundays. What's with putting meat and non-sweet stuff with sweet stuff?
So it can work. Not the seafood sundae, but the concept of mixing in something sweet like this can potentially work. One of my favorite dishes actually hails from India, which it uses a. Oh wait, no, that's a nut based. I was thinking of korma, which uses like a cashew butter. I'm fucking dumb. But you can commonly tenderize meat with yogurt because of the bacterias that are in it. It can kind of do a bit of good breakdown with it as a marinade.
And then finally, weenie jam, which is a jam made from cocktail weenies.
So this
Ugh,
is jellied meat.
ugh. And it's found in Milwaukee. You guys are close to Illinois. For shame. For
I mean,
shame.
it could have been worse. They could have chosen to make a hot dog float out of a Chicago dog. Like, can't
Ugh.
you think about it? You take like a bunch of hot dogs, you put it in the food processor to turn it into farce, and then you garnish. You garnish with the spear pickle and the mustard.
I have to say, this is great world building. It makes you want to kill all of these people.
I fucking hate them. Yeah.
But don't forget the next one, which is the hybrid
Well,
omelette.
no. Before we do, I want to say one more thing about this. If you're gonna go for like alien cuisine, go for it, but not like this. Try harder, god damn it. But yeah, sweet and meaty can work. I mean, that's the entire premise of sweet and sour chicken. And there are some, if I recall correctly, some variations of Korean army stew goes that way too. Like a sweet meat is pretty nice. Like some sausages tend to be a bit sweet, for example.
Yeah, but we have the omelette.
Bacon and ham often have things like honey or brown sugar added to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hybrids, which yeah, apparently people want to fuck these not drow so often that they have made these people. They're
Within
crappy
20
half
years.
elves.
Um, we also have, they also get the phenotype and the legion.
Cool.
But next up is the catkin of Ulthar. These intelligent, magical cats protecting against Gurthunka. They fought to a standstill, and they're coming to help.
So this is
They
one
are
of
the
the few
descendants of.
times where he actually is using the Dreamland cycle. And he did it
Oh,
to make fucking he did it to make this.
so catkin are descendants of humans that have mixed with feline magic of the place to create the catkin.
So
Why they didn't
in the
murder
lore
their.
of
Why they didn't.
Lovecraft, I just want to very quickly say, so Ulthar has a law in the Dreamlands that you cannot harm cats. And the reason this happened is because one time a couple of people killed cats and the cats ate them. Because cats are super magical in Lovecraft's world.
The law has spoken.
No, seriously, cats are like super magical in the world of Lovecraft because Lovecraft really fucking loved cats. Like a lot.
He did.
So they are seen as almost a protective force in the world of Lovecraft, but they're also those who see prophecy and can see beyond. Sorry
So
about
they
that.
have. Yeah. So they have decided to branch out and into the world and help work with the Eldritch Society. They have a tribal meritocracy. They know how to speak cat,
Well,
which
of course
is
they do.
that's fun.
That can be fun.
Uh, and then we've
Also, I
got
will give credit. At least he's finally using the fucking Dreamlands. I mean,
next up
that's
is
admittedly not the most important. I don't know. Like, it's what Lovecraft kind of focused on the most before he died. It's not my favorite stuff that he's done, but like, it's kind of key if you're gonna do Lovecraft because basically, if you're wondering, the reason Earth is actually kind of important in the universe, it's not like massively so, is because it's the easiest route into the Dreamlands. Like in a
oh,
cosmological sense, it's kind of like the easiest point to the Dreamlands, and a lot of important artifacts are sometimes stored on Earth because of that.
but next up are the hidden.
Also note that
Those,
because he doesn't want to fuck them, the cat can have a lot less effort put into them.
yeah, those who have decided to reject the destructiveness and barbarism of many early human civilizations. They retreated to the shadows and became invisible to the perception of others.
Okay,
Now they decide to become visible again.
that's really stupid as a backstory. No, I
Well,
mean that's
because of
really fucking stupid as a backstory. That's horrendously fucking stupid as a backstory.
I don't know what these why have these things like their rule is an adocracy. I don't know what that is.
Let me take a look.
Like
Adhocracy. So they don't have a government. It's just kind of bootlegged. It sounds like that was him trying to be cute. Yeah,
next
these
is
are
the high
boring.
ghoul. These are offshoots of offshoot and hybrid between the regular ghouls and humans. Hence why they don't look like they have dog faces.
Basically, a better way to say this are these are ghouls that have kept enough of their human heritage to pass as human. A good example of this would actually be Richard Upton Pickman before he became a full ghoul, which was near the end, which was in the aftermath of the story.
Oh, here's something fun. As a side effect of their egalitarian culture, information flows freely through the ghoul nation. They gather intelligence from their various connections and pass along to others, creating something which resembles an internet forum on the deep web, containing everything from gossip to critical secrets. You know, like a Shrucknet.
It's almost like these are based on. Oh, and look, they kind of look like Nosferatu. I wonder why. I wonder why.
They also speak Gaelish.
Gaelish is a harsh language, hard on people's throats, not a pleasant. Blah blah blah. Basically, in a Lovecraft setting, ghouls are a predecessor to humanity, an offshot of apes. Basically, it's more of a frame of mind that you can become. They are also the
I mean,
source of changeling stories.
you also just eat dead bodies.
They eat dead bodies. I also like how
Or
they're
live
called
ones.
socialist gangsters. Um, this is actually one of the few add-ons that I like, but that's mostly because ghouls are a Lovecraft tradition.
And it is kind of like that they would come out and be like, yeah, let's help them.
Well, I mean,
You
you
know,
need humans to eat. I mean, you don't
yeah.
need humans to eat, but like humanity being alive is beneficial to them. They mock them because a very common theme about ghouls are they mock the human delusions of morality, but they still need them. They need to loot their graves and eat their children and old people.
But then next are the raven kind of Carcosa.
Which I think might have been. Actually, I'm curious. Was there a Kickstarter goal where people could come up with their own races?
No, I think this was an original thing.
Okay, okay, because that's the only other explanation I have for them.
They're like humanoids. They speak bird, Carcosan. They're gerontocracy.
By the way, the best part about them are literally one of them is dressed as Ryuk from Death Note. That is literally Ryuk's costume from Death Note.
Then we have
No,
the
seriously,
Tcho-Tcho.
look. Like actually compare. I want to compare
Yeah.
the two. If you've seen Death Note, that is fucking egregious. By the way, yes, I would much prefer talking about the Korax or the Tengu actually. The Henge Yokai did Ravenkind a lot better than this shit,
Yeah. And then there's the Tcho-Tcho.
which should have been
Now
in
the
the book
Cho
originally.
yeah, the Tcho-Tcho basically, or at least these ones are the ones that after doing the murder, rape, cannibalism ritual, they realize this is madness and they run the fuck away. And it completely running away from the Ruin King, from Hastur,
So
as dark things are drawn to them.
essentially, this was him going, well, I need to make it so that you can't genocide an entire race because not all race can be bad. This is him basically being rather scared about the concept of ending an entire species.
Then we have the Viperborn. So if you're not a furry, how about a scaly?
Why not?
They speak Outlaw.
That's interesting. Oh yeah, because Aklo was the original language of the Velusians. I remember
Yeah.
now.
And you get your, in this case, you get your clans. Clan of Dreams, Clan of Embers, Clan of Stars, Clan of Tombs, and Clan of Ether.
So it's pretty clear that this is another. Oh, it's because of the tattoos and the markings on the face. That's why he likes it. I think he has a thing for tattoos.
Yeah.
Matt, I see
And,
you.
and then the Waveborn.
Which are basically deep ones that didn't fully change into deep ones.
Hey, do you like swimsuits?
Do you like
Here you go.
swimsuits? Do you like the Maori? Well, here you go.
They know Relayan.
Well, yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah,
That's not the line. Oh, okay. I mean,
they
they're
speak
not
Relayan.
related at all, but okay.
You also have gills.
Relayan is that's the star spawn language. That's not deep ones don't speak it really. Okay.
Then we get our training packages,
Yay, we
which
get our training package finally after all these terrible races.
which gives us your skill packages, which coordinate, I believe, with what kind of Tager you want. As I do realize they've gone completely lazy and it's just two different packages.
Oh, it's the same. Okay. Oh.
Unless you're a pack leader or an ICS cult hunter.
No, you're right. How disappointing.
Um,
What can I even say
Your
about this? Like,
various
look at this.
qualities, your assets, your drawbacks, um, which I believe they've removed the negative consequence of being fat.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Various inherent qualities.
Well, remember, having an extra 50 pounds on your bones, that doesn't destroy your cartilage or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
adding another backpack's worth of flesh upon you, that's not going to cause any trouble. Ah, my bones. Oh, ow. Oh, no. My blood is like gravy. Help me. Ugh.
and various other
Look,
mechanics.
let's be blunt. If you are a fat and you have experience with being a fat, case in point, moi, no, being fat can be quite a disadvantage. Especially in things like stealth, because you know what your bulk makes it easier for things to do, things to fall over, harder to hide behind. Your stamina is probably going to be a bit more garbage unless you actually work up a decent amount of cardio. Like, don't get me wrong, you could be quite fit and still be kind of fat. Sumo wrestlers, for example. But you know what sumo wrestling is like? It's also a very short activity intensity sport. Sorry, it's just kind of funny to see the corn oil industry get another win. Another win for the corn oil industry.
Yeah.
Because that's
Then
what a
we
lot of
get.
fat acceptance advocates are fucking funded by.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. If you actually look up a lot of those influencers, you'll see that originally they got paychecks from like ConAgra Foods and shit.
So next up though is our skills. And remember, or if you don't
Well, no,
remember,
there's also the Fashion Week where, hey, look, they're all Nazadi because Matt has a thing for them. Oh my goodness. They're so creative, these drow bootlegs that are genetic clones. I, I'm so excited that I can actually feel my pulse rate slow as my eyes close.
so
Jesus Christ.
if y'all remember from last year, they had a whole fuck ton of random skills such as trivia or hobbies. They have broken that down instead into several specific skills and removed the useless ones. This is actually where they've done some fat trimming. So you have two types of combat: body fighting or gun fu, a whole bunch of intellectual based ones to know about various engineering, computers, law, science, physical, alertness, athletics, piloting, social, either convince or lie, and wildcard, odd job.
Sorry, I was looking at the qualities and I was just kind of fascinated by the ability of just learning to speak to cats. That's an ability you can pick up. I think it's only catkin related, but I like the idea that a human can just do it too. Yeah, the skills have been cut down by quite a bit. My guess is that he was trying to keep it under 600 pages.
And actually, it turns out they may have not removed the fat. They just stuffed it under odd job. Animal
Up, up,
handling, bar trivia,
up.
celebrity
What, I
gossips.
think our net had a little bit of a seizure. Are you back with
Up.
us, chat? Chat disconnected for a bit. I don't know how much you missed, but basically, I was fascinated by the cats. So I was just kind of staring at that. But yeah, the skills are a lot more coherent. I think it's because he wanted
Yeah.
to get under 600 pages.
Or he realized that, yeah, this was bloat.
It
And I
was
guess
bloat, and it still is.
the bloat, instead, it's like specialization. So odd job are other things that aren't covered. So if you do want to have random trivia or co-ed naked twister, yeah, that could be odd job. Then you get your advancements, 1 character advance, and 2 power advances for each 4 hours of play.
Huzzah! I find it really kind of goofy that it's based on how much time you play. Isn't that weird?
He could have just said 1 session.
You could have done it as per beats per beats per session.
Yeah.
Hello, Not Nito. We're back. Sorry about that. YouTube threw a little bit of a fit, I think.
Then we have the combat, in which it is players plan, players act, so they always go first, enemies act, and then regeneration.
Yeah, that was the XP system, Angel. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's that quick. You literally can just sit there on your ass and do nothing, and you gain experience that way.
What's a power advance? Doesn't say.
Yep, that's it. It's 1 page.
It's just advancements to different attributes and whatnot.
That was it. That was the XP system. He wasted 10 pages on the fucking Nazati, but could not waste a page more on that.
And so let's see. Regeneration is when you just regain health.
I think my favorite part is think about it like this, Imp. He wasted a page on terrible bad food jokes about the Nazati rather than add another page describing how you improve your skills. Just to
Well, skill.
denote his priorities.
Well, I think we can tell. Easy to understand rules is not his fetish.
Idling XP system, it's seen it. Yep. Rounds.
But
Rounds can be a flexible amount of time, but they are intended to represent approximately 30 seconds of action. Most
so
combat
they
lasts
just
from 2 to 4 rounds.
yeah, so they just represent 30 seconds of action.
Okay, fair enough. The players plan, the players act, and it basically coordinate. So this basically allows the players to essentially come up with a plan, which means that you might get the wondrous experience of them wasting an hour just to try to figure out how to fight for 30 seconds. I'm joking a bit, but still.
No, that's not a joke.
I have seen players literally waste like a half hour just trying to figure out how to move down a fucking hallway.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
But then you get to act. Enemies make counteractions or strike backs. Enemies act. Players make counteractions and strike back.
He is basically describing in probably it's not the worst, but it's a pretty bad way to describe how a round works, I think. Because this feels bloated and clunky. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Strike backs are basically if the enemy fails to hit, you can counterattack.
Which is also a bit of a
Counteractions are
powered
like
by the apocalypse moment right there.
opportunities to do other actions like overwatching or supporting fire.
I'm not a big fan of how he describes how combat works in this.
Counteraction aspect effects. I've just said several words that I don't understand what they mean.
I don't either. I'm too
These
busy
are
looking at these weird Guyver things. I guess about to do a weird group huddle. Come on, guys, we got a group hug. Also, things suck when you call them doanoids because you want to use the word zoonoid, but you can't because it's from an anime.
and those people will actually sue you,
I'm not gonna
especially if they're
lie.
owned by Harmony Gold.
I'm not gonna lie. I really fucking hate how on the nose it is to Guyver. Like, I detest it. Like, why
We're
did you
the
make your anime as a joke named off of Robotech, but most of the combat is Guyver based? What the fuck?
so instead of Guyvers, they're Dudevers.
I mean, they're called Tagers because Guyver, Tager.
I could.
So you also have move restrictions. You can't move through squares occupied by enemies. You can move through allies as long as there's room for them. You can move around, blah 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 blah. It is based
Yeah,
on D&D
take
mechanics, or in this case,
damage.
Pathfinder mechanics.
Yeah, taking damage, armor. It's combat mechanics.
And it's mostly stolen from the ORC. Like, let's be blunt, it's
Actually,
mostly
actually,
ORC.
it's no. The combat, it's more World of Darkness because armor reduces damage. Damage is taken based on
The movement
your
though
health
is based
levels,
on Pathfinder.
movements. All right.
No, like
Uh,
moving through friendly squares and not being able to on enemy, then you have to bypass or else you get attack of opportunity equivalent. That is very based on Pathfinder. Bro squared. I have to agree, Nito. Was Genocyber an inspiration? Was Genocyber on the list of
no, it
inspiration?
was not. It was
Huh.
Rizafon.
Rasenfon, Evangelion, Guyver. There was a couple of other anime that he listed. I'm already forgetting the anime he was inspired by, other than the most obvious ones.
Then we also get rules on how to spend shots in combat for avant-garde. You know
Actually,
what my
actually, I
optional
think it might
rule
have
is?
been.
Use fucking dice. This is a game.
Yeah, it's just game. You'll use mechanic as see fit.
All right, well, that was all the mechanics.
Oh, okay. I
We're
feel
then going to
so
go
ready to play this game. No, I don't.
more. Well, no, now you go into the Eldritch Society, how it works, how you get recruited, how you do symbiosis, your living
Optional spending
space,
shots. Fuck that.
the Tagers, the fact that you're bonded to a symbiote. You get a mortal form, you get a Tager form, and then an intercross form. You know,
Cool.
because we're werewolf now.
Crime finances the rest of the society's operation primarily by stealing untraceable funds from criminals.
We steal from the corrupt and give to ourselves.
No, I'm just envisioning they just shake a meth dealer. They just
Just
steal
a
$20.
giant monster is just like, give me your money.
I'm just envisioning them kicking a cyber trailer park, and you see a
Actually,
fish man going, "No, no,
yeah,
I am honest employee."
imagine it's like Omar from The Wire. Rips and runs as he morphs into a monster and eats
It's really
somebody.
funny because the things he's fascinated by are like the least interesting things in the setting. Because I'm just envisioning a Guyver, like a catgirl Guyver, kicking open the door to like Ricky's trailer from Trailer Park Boys to steal all of his meth money.
Where's my money?
Yeah,
Where's my
you
money,
have to
Ricky?
shake up the Trailer Park Boys for their money. That's much better than whatever the fuck this is.
Uh, let's see.
No, no,
Then you
no.
get your.
The best part. Okay, okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. The owner of the trailer park is actually Amigo disguised as a person. It's Randy Leahy's Amigo puppet that
We've
he
got it.
mind controls, and he's just
Yep.
picked up alcoholism because he likes the taste of the drink.
Just licks it like a bug. Sugar. Mm. Listen,
He stumbles through after you rampage through the trailer park. You've sowed the shit seeds, and then the Migo bursts out of the fucking office. Now reap the shit hurricane.
just listen. We know he's probably in service to the Migo, but he really has the cheapest rent, and he helps out. He's always on call.
Also do not ever try. Do not ever try. Oh God, who's the dude obsessed with hamburgers again? The fat guy. He's a Tcho-Tcho. In my
Yeah.
envisioning, he's a Tcho-Tcho. And his burgers are delicious, but never question the source of the meat. There you go.
Let's see.
I have to think
Maybe
of better ideas than whatever the fuck this is. The Council of Thorns, which is a nod to Nerve's leadership of Seal. Yeah, it's basically Seal. Okay. The Archivists are probably from Raw Zemphon. I wouldn't know. I've only ever watched like 2 episodes of Raw Zemphon. Operator Networks, which is based on the what are they called? Bunker Bunnies. I think they were called the Bunker Bunnies from Evangelion. Eh, I mean, what can I say? Like the structure of this is just it exists.
so. Page, I guess 222 gives us the special abilities for each of the Tagers.
Yeah,
The
because
Echo.
they like go into a lot of details about something that just is so fucking boring, man.
So the Echoes are amphibious. Efreet are fire projection. Mirage illusion casting. Nightmare damage resistance. Phantom is immovable. Shadow is invisible and silent. The Spectre is incorporeal. Vampire looks like a giant vampire bat. Whisper, flight, and sensory sharing. And Widow, mobility and web spinning.
Okay. Also, yes,
Then
the Pentex McDonald's Otolis would be a much better idea. I'll be honest, I kind of really like the more I'm reading this, the more I'm like, can we go back to reading like terrible werewolf 5e books or like the Children of Gaia tribe book? Can we do that instead of this?
this is only the beginning of our nightmares for this month. Remember, it's October.
No, it isn't. It's not October yet.
Ah, shit.
Haha.
It's the week that begins the month of October.
Yeah, probably. Designating packs by name would be a nightmare. Looking up the pack who calls themselves the Nightshade means an operator has to figure out which packs of the dozens of Nightshades in the database is the correct one. Well, that's your fucking problem, buddy.
That's your problem. Everyone decided to do Cold Steel McEdger.
Why did you have to ask about my meat sources? Now I'm forced to add you to the menu. Yeah. Honestly, if you did like Trailer Park Boys, like the setting, but kind of okay, hear me out. It's one part cyberpunk, then one part Cthulhu and Cthulhu International. I'm gonna call it Cthulhu International. Yeah, and you just go like it's Lovecraft but with cyber. You could do something really fun with that. And if I had to do a Canada segment, like a Canada like series, it would be based heavily on Trailer Park Boys. Like it would be like, okay, here's the main setting. It's like the trailer park outside of the new outside of the Neo city of this fucking area in Canada and the provinces. I'm almost half tempted because of how fucking poor it is to put it in the Maritimes.
And the haunted
Put
of
put it in like fucking no.
the
Put it
haunted
in
the
like
haunt
what
no
the
the
fuck is
haunted
it?
Quebecois arcology with the strange gibbering language of its natives.
Is it the language of the Migo? No, it's actually just French, which is more horrifying. It actually causes more sanity damage to listen to Quebecois French. Even the Migo don't want to go near it. And the antagonist of the arcology is an AI that is based on a mime. There you go.
So then we got various supernatural senses, attacks, which again they're just long, long segments of
He really thought he was cooking with this, and the more I'm reading this, the less interested I am.
you haven't different. So like when I'm reading through this, it's like lethality aspects, mobility aspects. Nothing's popping out. It all blends together.
This is like, here's the thing. I only remember the first book because of the defense that he made online. I don't think it was him. I think it was like one of the other guys. The defense that only 2% of this book is rape. That's the only thing I fucking remember. Northwest Territory, Labrador, Old Mining Town. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, Northwest. I would go with. Actually, I really like the idea of Labrador. Labrador sounds really fun as like a shitpost area. Either that or you do it in shit. You do it in one of the old mining towns outside of the Shield, particularly like on the border of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Like it's like on
So
the confluence of that and the Northern Territory up there.
I want to show an example here of the bloat. Go to page 248.
Oh, thank God we can skip another 20 pages. You know this book is great when I'm actually happy that we're skipping 20 pages. I'm sorry, it's just like every aspect of this is not interesting to me.
It is no, it's
Okay, you take Cthulhu, cool. You take Guyver, okay, I could go with that. You take Cyberpunk, okay. You take Mecha, okay, and then you combine it together. Oh, it just tastes like. Have you ever mixed every soda you can at a fountain? And you know how it just tastes like slop? It doesn't really have a dominating flavor. That's what this
mm-hmm.
is. This is the all soda fountain soda.
So this is Echo, which, if you look on the next page, has a little dolphin creature showing what it looks like. Do you want to know where the entire rules of Echo end?
Was it the page above?
No. It goes from page 248 to page 267.
He really thought he was cooking with this. Holy shit. By the way,
That
Dr. Common, I see you, you jackass. I see you. Look at all this crap.
because we have to include all of the abilities. For instance, when your symbiont bleed, when it can get into your mortal form,
Oh my god.
and we have to do these large paragraphs.
You know, most people, when they make a character
We have
sheet
to
like
give
this, you can get away
yeah,
with a 2-page splat.
we have to give different rules for each of the three options.
You know, most people just give them special abilities, or alternatively, what you do is you
These
describe the
these
different mechs, and then well, in this case, the different Guyver suits, and then you show off the abilities in their own fucking chapter.
I mean these tables, they're just too fucking big. You did not need to make it
Angel
this
has
big.
said, I think combining World of Darkness with Cyberpunk or Cthulhu is more compatible. If I recall correctly, the World of Darkness actually did do a Cyberpunk setting.
You know what I would say this would be good
No,
for?
they did. If I remember right, I think they actually
They
did do
did,
a
yeah.
Cyberpunk setting. Yeah.
But this setting, riffs. This would work in riffs.
I mean, I'm not particularly interested in Rifts that much either, so.
But it would. But you don't have this confusing thing. Everything
I
is
mean,
under
the
the
rules
same
are already
format.
pretty confusing, but they're a lot easier to get your head around than this shit.
You've got your. And you don't just get regular attacks. You get signature attacks and various other attacks. Like we're playing a fucking RPG.
I might have been
A
inspired
Final
by a lot
Fantasy.
of
Well, I mean, a Final
RPGs.
Fantasy RPG. I mean, this is a role playing game, so. And then the ability to make your own attack options, and they do the same thing for every other Tager, every other form. These long, drawn out,
I
boring
love the page.
descriptions
I
of the abilities
Not only
of
that,
these
but like they waste a
creatures.
page on the equivalent of the mindset of them. You know what the World of Darkness did that was a lot fucking smarter than this? They did stereotypes based on each person.
19 pages dedicated to each Tager. That is a waste. That is a you have given 100 or so pages.
Also, don't forget that a fourth of each fucking page, because of these little inset comments, basically means that you could have used even more page space if you didn't do these weird little asides in the sections.
Yeah, I'm going back to the original book. I want to see how big these were.
Oh yeah, the World of Future Darkness. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's really fun. You totally could do
Oh, oh! You want to know how much the rules for the original Tager were worth?
1/3 of this.
1 page. You want to know why? Because it just had its weapons. The weapons would do damage, and so on. Your senses, your abilities were already in the other rules.
Okay.
How do you go from 1 page to 19? You don't need all these fucking special abilities.
Well, you see, they cut away 2%. They cut away 1% of the whole book, which was rape. So they needed to fill in the 1% that they cut out. By the way,
Like,
I probably missed the part where they're powered by babies. I think that's an actual mechanic in this game. We might have missed it. I don't know.
powered by the Forsaken Orphan.
You mean it's powered by an orphan? Well, not a whole orphan,
Just a little one.
just part of one. Oh yeah, Cthulhutech does. Yeah, Cthulhutech's a lot closer to the splicers. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yes.
God, I hate this book.
But you know what the thing is? The Splicer one actually is a little bit fun because it's biotechnology versus cyber technology. Like, you can literally make a carnivorous plant creature that feeds on sunlight.
Why, you don't want the Mirage, which just looks like, I don't even know what the is that a frog? I don't know.
It's a mirage.
A Forsaken Child? Probably. I don't know. I don't know. We probably skipped it because holy shit, look at all
Just a
this.
little one. Just,
Uh, I just want to give you the weight of the crap that you have to read to understand each one of these. Suffer.
we
If I gotta suffer, you gotta suffer, bish.
we end page 445.
I mean, we're skipping some cool art, but like at this point, I don't care.
And then the rest of it is going into more lore of how these D cells operate, how the uh,
Oh,
Arcanotech
no, that
works.
might be important because I think that's where the soul of the babies come from.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna search the word baby.
Because at this point, I
Nope.
don't. Look at all this shit we skipped. Is this supposed to be like a really complicated Digimon game or something? I wish, Quick Flip. I really fucking wish it was the case. Digimon, I think, actually has a better fan RPG than this. Pagan Pilot has stated that he would rather play Biomotus or Splicers, and I'd have to agree.
They then also give a big section on the arcologies, how to design your own arcology, what size it is, the levels, the weather types, the common areas, the municipal tunnel system, and then giving us examples for, I believe, each of the types, like the Santa Fe arcology for a small one. Then they give us the Nazadi's place.
Because, of course, we need to know about the fucking
I
drought.
just those two. Gear, wealth.
Also, we have nanotechnology.
Yeah, just a little one.
Nano fabrication print times. Fancy pre-prepared meal. Full body
They also
costume. So you just
they
have
also
3D printers.
They also keep the machine guns, such as the AR-25, the FNGAL, and of course the FN Magic.
Well, yeah, because branding is apparently super important still.
Mhm. The katana and the wakizashi. I can spell it this
Psychiatry
time.
and psychological well-being. Okay, so we're playing in a setting that relies heavily on a writer whose big thing is crumbling sanity and the world itself being cruel, cold, and alien to the mind of a person.
And guess what we have instead? We've got
Psychology.
universal basic income, zero unemployment, and everybody likes each other regardless of their ethnicity or species.
I'm just hearing clown horns in my head. The mandatory psychiatric screening isn't terribly invasive, although it's not to be taken lightly. The therapist will look at summaries of a patient's previous. You have to be you're forced to take psychiatric
Actually,
evaluations.
I mean that makes sense because otherwise you might be a gibbering insane maniac who's going to then cannibalize children for ignorance.
I think one of my favorite things about this though is that it's not psychological screening. No, they just fucking dump meds on you no matter what.
Which that could be good for the horror.
I mean, that
But
is
that's
actually in a way more horrifying than the cultists if you think about it.
there's no horror in this at all. Like we don't even have a sanity mechanic, probably
Of course
because
not.
sanity
Which is
because that's
funny
probably
because the
offensive.
original game had one, as crap as it was. Remember, like the Tigers had a sanity meter, if I remember right.
Everyone just had a sanity meter.
Now, no. We like. I'm not even kidding. There's no sanity meter. Well, you see, just because a person has a issue that is in the DSM for psychology doesn't mean that they're a problem. Yeah, the guy who can hear voices in his head telling him to go to that orphanage and start blasting, that guy's fine. He doesn't need intervention or help. Oh yeah, the person with borderline personality disorder that has psychologically ruined another person to the point where they Cobained everyone involved. Yeah, that's not a problem in society. I fucking hate that. Also, apparently, instead of normal transportation, we use bicycles and scooters.
Well, because if you're inside narcology, there's no space.
Gotta love the 15-minute city concept.
I mean, in this case, you kind of need it because kaiju will just pop out of nowhere and eat you.
The sanity stuff, gone. Who gives a shit about that? Also, I like how D cells cannot be safely or legally modified, but you can modify the rest of the car just fine. You know, ignoring that will probably eat more of your energy. Also, flying cars. The ability to forcibly give people medicine has given you flying cars. Also, I think this art for the shipping truck was stolen from Subnautica, Below Zero, because it reminds me of the truck that you pilot in that game. Like it's just, hey, let's waste a lot of pages on transportation. You know, in Shadowrun, what they did instead was they focused on a big important city. You know what I would have might have done instead of what the fuck this is? I might have focused on a city or a part of the world that has a lot of threats. Like you know what'd be really useful? Okay,
Or
hear me out. Hear me out. You make a mega city centered around Boston. Centered around Boston, and you make the New England
ah,
area based on Lovecraft Country. And you have like the murder, have like a murder map where it just shows like odd scenarios, but it's like digitized. So it's like up north in Vermont, Migo sighting question mark. To the right, you have like deep one infiltration in Bangor. And then like
Hmm.
as a shit post, you can even do a little reference to Pennywise the Clown in Maine too.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Just a little, because a little bit of a little bit of Stephen King actually works pretty well with Lovecraft. I've noticed, and vice versa. It actually works out pretty nicely.
I mean,
Firearm ownership. The New Soul Coalition wants its citizens to be trained in the use of firearms so they can be mustered for their own defense in times of dire emergency. So there is a universal conscription law. And apparently people are a lot more responsible with firearm ownership in this timeline.
well, because I guess he's probably going for it's like a Sweden or no Swiss, mixing my S countries up.
It does require a lot of training and, proper containment because imagine like a kid getting their hands on mommy's pistol.
Yeah.
That's actually, if you're curious, that's where most of the firearm accidents happen, is usually because of poorly contained weaponry. The other is the stupid decision to play with that shit while you're intoxicated.
Oh, I've seen plenty of that where it's just, hey, I'm gonna hold a loaded gun, and boop, there goes someone's face.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna do a fancy gun. Oh no, I didn't check it was loaded and it blasted. Thank God you're fine. Am I right, dude? And the guy's like shaking because if he was off by a little bit, it would have gone right into his neck.
Oh no, I've seen the ones where people actually die.
One of the worst ones I remember was it was the shooting as a joke where you put like a phone book in front of the person and the dude used like a
Ooh.
50 caliber bullet.
Th-
It was a married couple. They were doing it for like a YouTube video, if I
that,
recall.
that's a Darwin Award. That's it.
No, this actually happened. What happened was the dude had like a Desert Eagle, and what they were gonna do is, I think it was like a prank gone wrong, where one of them was gonna wear like a bunch of like a phone book or two, but because of the size and caliber of the round and the amount of
It just,
power it had, ripped through it and shot her dead. Dude went to prison because of that.
yeah, that's is that manslaughter?
An involuntary manslaughter, since neither of them intended for that to happen. Like
But he
here's
made
the
sure to
thing.
upload it.
I am a big fan of distributing firearms to everyone. However, my expectations are you need to know how to actually use them and know how to contain them. Because if you're an idiot and you leave that shit unlocked in an area, if you have kids, they're going to want to play with it probably.
Treat it as if it was an eldritch tome. Someone's gonna eventually try to read it, and they're gonna go mad
Well, someone
and
will
kill
eventually
people.
try to read it, and because they are not trained in the right rituals or psychologically ready, they will fuck up. Oh, it was the wife that shot the husband. Thank you, Angel. I got it reversed.
I like how we're so done with this book that we're now talking about horrific crimes that have been recorded.
I mean, I hear the screams of children when I read this book. Is that normal?
No, no. I mean, for me, I hear the undulating of 1,000 ancient beasts unknown to time and space. But I think that's just normal.
Oh, I thought that was just something you usually heard anyway.
No.
Designing your own dome city. Yay! You have to build your own setting, fucko. For
Yeah, let's
God
let's
forbid you have a
let's
preset one.
let's talk about the public trains, because that's what Cthulhu's all about. Autistic discussions of transit.
The last book we had that really talked about transit like this was the great, great book known as Hardwired Island.
No, no, not again. No more coffee shops.
Well, at least they haven't
No
done
more
that
anime
yet.
references.
Well, they have
No
done
more
that.
no more bizarrely incompetent government.
Well, I love how the ghouls are the ones responsible for managing the trains. I guess when you become a flesh-eating monster, you also gain autism.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the ghouls run the subway systems, which I kind of like, but it's also I'm just envisioning. Oh yeah, sorry about that. There was an accident on the third rail. They pushed a few guys in front of the train.
Don't worry, we'll clean it up just in a bit.
You smell barbecue in the distance. Trains in Cthulhu. Is this the Orient Express? I wish. I wish it was, Angel. Bipeds aren't the only residents of our ecology. Now we gotta learn about the pets. And community animals. Is this one of the... Oh, it's a ravening storm invades the Shanghai arcology. I was just envisioning that's someone's pet on the loose.
Shubby. That's what I call her.
Actually, that'd be really fun. Oh, no, think about it like that. Okay, hear me out. One of the adventure splats for my shitpost of Cthulhu Industries, of the cyberpunk Cthulhu setting, is a pet store goes horribly wrong because a mistreated mini Shogoth has decided to rebel against the owners and has led a little Shogoth rebellion, and you have to contain them before they can kill too many more people.
Hmm.
Like my little shop of horrors, and it's like we have all sorts of things like bioengineered cats, pet Shogoths, little dinosaurs, courtesy of the old elder things. It's owned by like an elder thing shopkeeper that's like piping in panic.
Hmm.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
You could do fun, and this isn't fun. Oh, and one of the gags for Cthulhu Industries are, it's actually harder to lose sanity because you already start much lower on the sanity meter. You
Oh, so
can
we're
go
already in.
insane, but it takes more to get there. Because
No, it's the monotony of the corporate life.
oh yeah, you're basically really jaded.
Because what's the difference between a CEO and Cthulhu anyway?
The stray hound of Tintalos. So basically, you see this like little sphere, like this little sphere cage, and this poor like other dimensional creature pacing, trying to find an angle to escape out of.
Wait, I realize there's something terrible in this setting. The housing authority still exists.
Yeah,
The fucking HOA.
yeah. Unfortunately, the housing authority still exists, which I guess means that ultimately the HOA won in this timeline. This is actually the more horrifying. This is actually the true horror right here.
Then they give us the political structure. Yay! Administrative branch, armed forces, city council, commerce authority, courts of law, housing authority, individual services, law enforcement, medical council, and port authority, and the superstructures and utilities.
So in other books, I would actually be kind of interested in this sort of stuff, but this is way in the back. I've already bounced off of the setting. And on top of that, while it's nice you've cooked this up, again, this is really far in the back. You have
We
to
don't
kind of
need
care.
this. I would have just put this in a sample arcology. Do San Francisco, LA, Portland,
I would have gone with,
Seattle,
like I said,
Chicago.
Boston. Boston or actually, Chicago would be fun because of the idea. Okay, hear me out.
Remember, it's the capital.
I would have Chicago be the setting, and here's why. There's a big, in reference to like the Vietnam War and a bit of Delta Green, it's because of the large Tcho-Tcho community that's there.
Hmm.
I would have like little Leng. You have Little Leng, and on top of that, you could also do a little bit with like weird, because there are some weird paranormal creatures in the area. So you could have Migo. Oh, hear me out. Migo Fudgies. Those are tourists that go to Michigan to get fudge. So you have Migo coming to the south during winter as tourists to Chicago.
Listen, we've heard of this thing called a Christmas truce. We don't know when it is or where it is, since we're fourth dimensional, but we're going to consider it now.
So every winter, you basically have this Migo incursion where they're studying and abducting humans.
Hold on. Pagan pilot. Stray Hound of Tindalos. Can we keep it, Daddy?
That'd be great.
I promised to feed it the time. I promised to feed it time lost travelers.
Can we get back to the Lovecraft kaiju fighting? Oh, unfortunately, that's not even in this book. That's in the
That's the next.
separate
That's the
book.
separate.
That's in a separate book, motherfucker.
That's yet to be released.
No, this is just the boring Guyver stuff. I'd say go to Detroit, but call it New Detroit. No, Neo Detroit. No, okay, hear me out. as a bit of a love letter nod to RoboCop, you name it Delta City.
Mm.
Like you have old Detroit's ruins underneath, which is run by deep, well, maybe not deep ones. Maybe they're just mutants. The ghouls of old Detroit, who are basically like the Morlocks of Delta City. And you have the Guyvers as the equivalent of RoboCop. They are Flash Mechs. They are cops. They are the Flash Max cops. And on top of that, you can also do like a lot of interesting, organized, gritty crime stories. Like, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. You have the Velusian Triad, a gang themed on the triads with snake people.
Ah, I like it.
But no, we're not getting good. We're getting education and vocation. The field of individual services used to be called human services, but the name was changed for obvious reasons, even though most of the creatures here have either gone to war with us against our survival or actively against us existing in a sane state. Agriculture. Most arcologies need to import additional fresh food from outdoor farms or nearby complexes. Emergency services. Look at all this shit that's getting wasted on
Why do we need
describing.
this? You're playing as super spies murdering other super spies.
You're basically playing a combination of SWAT and fucking MI6. What the fuck?
We don't need to know about the ambulances.
Professional sports, and they don't describe any of the professional sports. By the way, to compare this, you know what Shadowrun did, which I really liked? They actually, in earlier editions, would give you the names of sports teams that are still around, as well as a few new ones. They did ones for football and for baseball. And I believe they also did it for soccer, aka other football, in Europe. I think they did also show some actual soccer clubs from, I think it was the mega city that's in Germany, and I think there's also one for the UK.
Hmm.
Look, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have this material, but not like this. Holy shit, not like this.
Now, like they're go. I skipped ahead because fuck it.
The reason why,
Five.
okay, so the reason why I like this is it gives you insight into the society. The reason I fucking hate this is they
Where's the
expect you to
tension?
make the fucking arcology.
Well,
So
no, for me, it's where's the tension? Where's the horror? This
yeah,
sounds like a fucking paradise. Look, they give an example here of wealth. Your personal wealth is 2, which represent universal basic income, and the strata is middle class.
are you kidding
What
me?
the fuck is wrong with this setting? Yes, we're getting attacked by aliens, but holy shit.
Where's the? I mean, this is supposed to be like a gritty sci-fi. Sci-fi always has that have and have not element to
Where's
it.
the machinations of the Chrysalis Corporation where they're putting eldritch spirits from plucked from a Tilling gas resonator into our food?
Yeah, why aren't you doing more conspiracies with that? Like, think about it like this: you could have business seminars which brainwash them to become more like the wolves of Wall Street, where they're complete Pat Bateman-like psychopaths. Like, imagine that, like a finishing business school which takes a normal person and turns them into a soulless monstrosity, and that's before the brainwashing. Like, where's the tension? Where's
I
the
don't think they're taking it.
dystopia?
Page 520. Image. Retail therapy. Those words should not be in the setting.
Enter arcology travel. Travel time. Oh my god.
There shouldn't be inter-arcology travel. Because guess what? The Migo will pluck you out of the fucking sky.
The Unity Sphere. Integration and development.
Unity.
Today, it's a thriving metropolitan arcology and an economic and diplomatic powerhouse. It's also where all the fucking OC race is. Fuck that.
Isn't this
Get it glassed.
all in a fucking existential war?
He repeats it for the Nazati too, by the way. It's like everything that we read in the generic arcology, he repeats for this shitty fucking Nazati setting. He repeats it exactly. What the shit? Look
Then
at
his audio
this.
problem.
He
Then his audio
actually
problem's
gives.
gonna.
Oh no. Oh, I hate this man. I hate this man so much. So his stupid little fucking dark elf bullshit actually has teams. He actually describes the professional sports teams and their qualities. He couldn't be fucked to do that for any of the other settings.
Why would I give a shit?
Fuck you. Actually, fuck you. Holy shit. That actually pissed me off. Wow.
Also, wait, hold on. Why are there shops if there's nanofabricators?
Wouldn't it make more sense that you have to pay in energy credits?
Yeah. What? Why?
You know things are bad when Eclipse Phase actually handled this better because the way that 3D printing works there, you get access to it based on your own contributions to the society. At least if you're among the anarchist communities.
If you're among the regular communities, you actually have to pay for it. You
You
cannot
pay
own your
for
own
it or you
nanofabricator
basically work at the
or your
replicators.
license. Yeah, I think it's like you get a
Or
license,
you're
but it's just
a
like,
licensed provider of certain goods. Like you are rated to produce basic consumer electronics, for example, and you'd be able to make like a Tiger Electronics, the fucking bleep bloop piece of shit.
oh, and actually, we finally got an answer to something I had a year ago, which is if when you shift your Tager, does it take your clothes? No, it does not. The symbiote protects your clothes underneath its shell when you shift from mortal to Tager forms.
I think the only reason they did that is just to make sure that you didn't get the weird nakedness. Also, there are 5 categories of bulk for your items, which is similar to how the World of Darkness has it is concealable in a pocket, it is concealable in a jacket, it is concealable in a trench coat, and then not concealable at all.
And then they give us all the weapons, the various pistols.
Also, I do have to agree with you, Angel. The 5th edition of World of Darkness has more tension and more gothic punk than this crap.
Oh,
Because remember,
oh,
for all we shat on Hunter the I almost want to call it Hunter the Visual, but it's not. It's not that, and it's not Reckoning.
Hunter the Visualing.
Hunter the Antifa-ing. Yeah, 5e Hunter. 5e Hunter understood horror slightly better than this. That's not good. That's not good. Because they treat it as government bad, so it must riot against government. They at least understand that like not everything is hunky dory. This clown, this fucking goblin, managed to make these arcologies ideal, like stupid fucking urban fantasies. The type of crap that you'd
Urban
see in fuck
utopias.
cars. If you ever want to see like deranged nonsense, look up r/fuck fucks what was it fuck cars. They're demented.
But no,
Don't
I
get me
need you to see
wrong.
the
There's a
guns.
difference between having a more tenable urban core and having the ability to get to places easily and having good access to resources, and being a demented asshole who defaces cars just because you literally don't understand how urban development works and you just really hate them and you want everyone to live in a bugman apartment like you.
I need you though to see the guns.
Oh boy.
Page 530.
At least we're almost at the end of this. They're so chunky. I like them. Aw, I actually like them. This is one of the only good things in this
Really?
book.
Look at the MP6A1 though.
MP6A1. So the
The
Hornet looks goofy, the Stinger looks goofy, and I think might have been stolen from Halo Combat Evolved. Okay, so he has a magazine extender and also a foregrip. What? Oh, that is some Mike Pondsmith level drawing there.
also the GLS Mark II. That's a pulse rifle.
Yeah, that's just the pulse rifle from. Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty egregious. Also, it's a
The
bull
AR
pup. No, it's not
the
because it's a bull pup.
no the AR-25. Is that a bullpup?
Oh God. No, no, yeah, you might be right. I might be confusing the terms here. I love that you have the magazine in the back. You know, you're bracing yourself against the magazine while you have this foregrip there. Why is there a foregrip for a sub-bottom pistol? I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. It doesn't even look that comfortable to grip. I think it's
And
cute.
there's,
I think these are cute in the sense that they remind me of old cyberpunk art.
yeah, we get our shotguns,
Like these are
double
these are just
barrel,
goofy little shit posts, and I like them.
steel knuckles,
I think the RG-11 might be based on the rifle that Shinji had to use to kill. What's the name of the Diamond Angel? The one that was like geometric and was drilling into nerve.
something L.
I mean, most of them are like Thaumiel, I
Well, yeah,
think.
because that's the name of an angel.
I mean, they're all named after angels. Like they're
Uh,
called angels, and they actually had names based on like actual angels in the Bible.
Look at those heavy weapons.
I think that is an Evangelion gun that's traced. These look like AI generated guns. No, these are very clearly based on a person's poor understanding of guns, and it's kind of funny.
Just look at the heavy weapons straight out of a mid 2000s FPS shooter.
No, the blunt object looks like something you'd see in Kingdom Hearts as a weapon.
Oh yeah, but like the GLS MG or the FN Magic.
By the way, fun fact: do you want to know the reason why Donald and Goofy didn't have swords?
I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no, the reason why is the Disney Corporation actually asked, "Do not give Donald and Goofy a sword." They never specified Mickey, so that's why they were able to get away with giving him a Keyblade.
Hmm.
But that's why Donald and Goofy do not use swords. Ignore that Disney made the Three Musketeers movie, like not even a couple of years prior, where they had swords.
Look at like the FLM 666 Brimstone.
By the way, of course, katanas do more damage than a machete. I believe that. Yeah, Wakizashi does as much damage as does more damage than the machete. I fucking believe you. Fuck off.
Like the names, the Hellstorm.
The stun
This
baton
was
looks like the unholy love child between a lightsaber and anal beads.
and there's a D cell in it. It's not electricity, it's eldritch electricity.
Lord Vader, I have replaced your lightsaber with this stun baton. My master,
Mm,
this does not look right. Oh, I assure you it is completely functional.
It
Unlike your
activates much
colon.
it activates much like a Schwartz sword.
Those were banned those were banned post the Treaty of Rusan. The treaty is no longer
I
applied. The
I
Jedi
have
are
made
dead.
it. We will use the ancient Sith technique of backwoods bended fighting.
You would
Use
be
those
most
muscles. You know
you
what? Use those muscles, Lord Vader. Stretch them out.
you need to master the art of the kegel to master this weapon. Fuck this fuck. Fuck this fuck. This is like the only part of the book I kind of like, and it's just because
Oh,
the guns are
hold on,
very
hold on.
nostalgic.
I want. What the fuck is that frag grenade? It look.
The
It has like a.
brimstone. Yes, sir. I think some of these are based on like other guns that you find from video games and anime. By the way,
They look like video game weapons,
they are.
but the. Why are there holes in the frag grenade weapon? Like you're supposed to throw it like a bowling ball?
Maybe. Maybe you're supposed to yeet it like that.
The grenade launchers.
I
The
I like the, I like the high
HSK-18.
explosive grenades that also it just has random divots.
Yeah. The Deathmaster
Why is the smoke
2000.
grenade the only one that looks normal?
And you're right, these are pixelated.
Yeah, they did not care at all. It's really funny because this thing is so. Oh, I think I know what. Oh God, I think to save file size, what he did was he rendered them down to like JPEGs. But
This is saved file size?
I guess I don't know. He has a lot of rules for explosives, by the way.
Then you get your Google glasses in the form of peaks.
Oh boy.
It's smartphones, portable smartphones.
You know what I like? The combat armor, which looks like power armor from.
And you can modify the device to have a hidden blade. You know, because when you're a Tager, what you want to do is to stab somebody with your phone.
Yeah, I mean, you stab them with your phone. You don't become a Cthulhu monster. You just stab them. Also, smart clothes, which, if you're wondering, I believe is something that was taken from Shadowrun. I think you have smart clothes there too. They literally change shape at any time. Smart cosmetics, smart tattoos. Yeah, just put the word smart in front of everything.
Oh, you're right. They could also be Destiny guns.
They might be Destiny weapons, yeah.
And that ends it.
Oh yeah, I'm at the peaks, building your own peaks because of course you would. Apps, which is a nod to. It took him this long to actually get into the wares? Are you fucking kidding me? You're a cyberpunk setting! You live and die with tech as much as you do magic, you clown! Wait, where's the magic? I just realized there's no magic in this setting. What?
We're not playing. Well, the sorcerers are probably going to be another one.
Oh god. No,
Couldn't.
like all of these apps are just for
Listen,
your
listen.
stupid glasses too. What the
Well, listen.
fuck?
We have to figure out how to do magic in like 5 different ways to play the game.
Uh,
Each one reducing the number of strategy you have to do to play the game.
yeah, that's it. There's the appendices. So yeah, that's the whole book. Holy shit.
This
Um
is. I'm gonna actually. But this is depressing, actually.
okay, so
You
first
have.
off, are you going to rate this as better or worse than one first edition?
Oh, I'm actually gonna say worse
Ooh. Do you want to explain why?
because while you have focused the game, and this is probably the best thing, you focus the game into one section, which is to focus on the Tagers and this Guyver-esque conflict. You have instead bloated it because you are repeating the same options multiple times. On reflection, with the system where you roll your dice, you try to get the highest one, you add that to your skills or whatever. That's actually fine. I'd say a bit innovative instead of just a simple dice pool. And again, it's just simple. I can look at a creature, like a comparison to the 19 fucking pages we have for the Nightmare. We can then have this one, which is gives a type heavy weapons Tager, gives us its modifiers for agility, perception, strength, tenacity, the bonuses it has for its weapons, its limit weapons, its armor, and all that. Very simple for me to understand right away. In comparison to I have 19 pages I got to read through to get different options for different abilities, and then I also have to read the version for the different game system, because if, let's say, we're playing that game system, then I've got to learn that rules as well, and it is a mess.
I
It
cannot
is.
wait to see the mech version because think about it like this. If the Taggers or the Guyvers were this fucking clunky, God help you on the mechs.
Oh, I'm wondering. I've got some of the advanced rules for BattleTech, and I mean it's I would say poorly designed as well, but at least it's simple in the sense of, hey, here are D6 and 2D6 tables for anything that could happen in the game. You get a malfunction, here's what the malfunction does. Here's the explosion rate, here's the explosion distance, here's how it will affect vehicles, here's how it will affect tanks, here's how it will affect other mechs, here's how it will affect humans. At least it's all under the same system.
As for myself, I didn't like the first edition all that much because it is completely not what I was expecting. I was expecting something different. I was expecting legitimately Cyberpunk, but with Call of Cthulhu. That's what I was kind of hoping when I opened it. You know what I mean? Didn't get it, so I didn't like it. I would say on the one hand, some of the mechanics are simpler in this. I much just prefer rolling dice pulls. It's just easier. But it's just unreadable. It's so bloated. It is so fucking bloated. And the worst part is, I know for a fact you can cut. I know because reminder, they only used at best 70% of each page because they left a quarter for those little inside comments that you didn't need to do all the fucking time. It, just making it a whole page, that would have shaved off like 100 pages. Actually editing it like a proper like 2 column book, that would have saved you another 200. On top of that, there is no fucking excuse for the taggers to have that many variations and options. What you should have done is you should have had what are called core functions of the taggers. You introduce each of the taggers, their roles, like really quickly. One page for each one, like one for the Ifrit, one for the Mirage, one for the Viper, that sort of shit. And then you have a section that goes into their basic abilities and what each unique one has. Make that short, make that shit a table. That's all you need. A lot simpler. Two, cut the arcology shit. Cut it down significantly. I love this sort of stuff because it helps, but I also loathe it when it's just bloating. This one doesn't give you a setting. It gives you one, and it's the stupid Nazati setting, and it is a
Well, no,
repeat of
it
the
gave us
previous one.
it gives us that and was it San Francisco
I don't think they
or
did, or if they did, it was
San
a lot
Antonio?
shorter. No, it was a lot
It was,
shorter than his stupid Nazati one.
no, it was Santa Fe. Yeah,
I,
and it was definitely shorter.
it was a
It's
lot
just
shorter. I would have just focused on making one arcology. I don't like if you're really that obsessed with your stupid drow recolor, sure, fucking make it that. Okay.
and here's the other thing. I looked up through the Game Master Guide. There's no sample arcology, sample stories you could put in there.
That's another thing. There's no packet adventure. Like a good core book usually gives you, well, maybe not a good player's handbook, but it's not a bad idea to start with a sample and module adventure. D&D did that. The
Every
World of
pretty much
Darkness also has examples of play. I believe they even give you basic chronicles in the core books.
I think even Hardwired Island did that. We didn't
Uh,
get to it because I went insane, but
oh god, it does. Yeah, Hardwired Island did do that, didn't it?
this could have been 300 pages.
Also, on top of that, the gun spread. I loved having arts for all of the weapons, but you could have easily just made it one big fucking chart and it would have been fine.
That's what that's what they did in the first version.
Yeah, because that's what
In the
actual
first version.
RPGs do. Uh,
You made this design for tablets, but it's just
it's not friendly for tablets. It was actually kind of a pain to, it was actually kind of a pain because this thing's huge. This thing's over 200 megabytes.
it's it's useless.
I would rate
Actually,
this as
I wouldn't say useless. I just say it's unnecessary.
it is
There's a
a
game in
downgrade.
here. There's a game in here, but you've bloated it with so much unnecessary stuff that honestly could have been put in a different book. The Nazati shit, if you wanted to extrapolate more on that, tack that shit in a $5 additional book. Really just wring the money out of people.
It's a
I mean,
downgrade.
if you're
This is
gonna
a
be doing a
downgrade.
minis game, you're wringing money out of people.
Correct. This is a downgrade from first edition in a lot of ways. I would also say that I don't. It's garbage. This book is garbage. I think I rated the first book as barely playable. Did I rate it as playable or garbage? I don't remember.
I don't know either.
I did not like it. I can tell you that much. And this book not only is just as unlikable, but I'd actually argue it's more of a pain in the ass to get through. So I actually hate this book more than I hated the first edition. It is not what I want in anything related to the Call of Cthulhu. It does nothing with it barely does anything with the technology it does. It doesn't do anything with magic, which that was a problem in first edition. It doesn't really do anything with the technology that much either. He had like ideas based on a bunch of animes and slapped that shit together, which hey, cool, fine, but that that stuff doesn't really mix well. I I'll say that there is an improvement in just having this focus on the Guyver fights. That's an improvement, but then you bloated it, which you didn't need to do. Why? Why couldn't you just do what normal people do when they make an RPG, which is just compile them into tables? It's not tables are not the end of the world. Why did you have a shorter segment on developing skills and experience than you did on terrible, not funny jokes about what the Nazadi eat?
Because the guy is not a professional RPG designer. This guy has been
I
out of the
disagree.
game. Well, no, he's made his books, but he's been out of the game for 20 years.
Doesn't bloody matter. He wrote a full book and actually wrote several additions to it. He may be out of touch, but I would argue, like, yeah, it's a passion project, but A, you made waves in the RPG biz. B, you made quite a few fucking modules. Like that's the big thing. That's the big reason I don't really let him get away with it because he did a lot. Because it wasn't just the Cthulhutech book that he had side books too. Remember?
You're right. Yeah,
If it was just like,
he had
oh,
he had
I only made
experience.
this one book. If I only made this one book, I'd be more generous. Like I made the Cthulhutech 20 years ago. It's the only splat I made, but that isn't it. Like Cthulhutech has several other books. It was its own competing franchise in the horror and kind of like mecha fighting. It actually fulfilled a niche too, as one of the only times you could play mecha fights besides BattleTech.
Oh, by the way, also, um, I'm scrolling through the index. This is where the hyperlinks are.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. They put the hyperlinks at the back.
Are you fucking are you real? Oh.
Because if you're going to look for something, then you're going to go, obviously not from the beginning. You're going to go from the back of the book.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I
That's what I'm saying. There's something with his design of RPGs is not kept up with stuff like even Powered by the Apocalypse or
Oh no, I disagree.
more
He
like
kept up
modern
with
systems.
it because remember how often the Apocalypse World fucking repeated itself?
Not to this extent. We never had
No,
a
no, it
600
did.
page
It did.
Apocalypse
You don't
World book.
remember it as badly as I do, but no, it repeated itself quite a bit too.
I mean, it repeated itself, but not to 600 pages.
True. I I don't think this is him forgetting. I think this is just him picking up the wrong fucking examples of building an RPG. A Nefandi, a great old ones worshiper, made this? Nah. A Nefandi would have made more coherent rules than this.
So fatal.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, that's actually an insult.
No, I'd rather play this than Fatal. That's an insult to this book. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't recommend this. I do
yeah,
have. If you are interested in the setting, I will say
it
that it's a little easier to play than first edition, at least in terms of how smooth the rules are once you know them. The problem is it's so bloated that I don't recommend it.
yeah.
I don't recommend it. I'd recommend keeping the stuff in here that actually works out, like the just rolling a dice pool that's simple. You could take the races, I guess. I don't know. I just don't really
As I said,
recommend this. Play Delta Green
honestly,
over
if you,
this.
Delta Green play riffs, you could literally do this on riffs.
Uh, I'd actually, because of the weird Eldritch angle. Okay, hear me out. Instead of that, fuck playing Rifts. Refluff Exalted with this.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, the Fae want to take reality to non-reality, right? Doesn't that sound an awful lot like a lot of Eldritch entities wanting to take Earth to another dimension? On
Interesting. Now
top of
that's
that,
an
there are magical Gundams in the setting. One of the Japanese city-states. I think the Japanese one made it. Thirdly, You also have heritages based on animals in the form of the Lunars, so you could have them be the cat people. You would have the average humans be, I guess, the dragon blooded to represent their anime spirit. They're basically Domon. And then you can have the weird Nazadi genetic abominations be the Solars, and that's why they're so fucking strong, but also so fucking insane. Have like just refluff the Abyssals to be more like the Migo, and the reason they're so edgy and horrifying is because they're curious on how humans work, and basically just study them. You could just do
Hmm.
this with Exalted, and I think it'd be better. We need a concept with wasted potential ending rating. Okay. You are right, Pagan Pilot. So I want to propose a new rating. I rate the Shaggy Dog
Hmm.
in honor of a Shaggy Dog story where it never gets to the point.
You're right.
It's a Shaggy Dog story. Can we just do something good next week, please?
Um, I mean, I saw some people saying get a Fenris revised.
That sounds
The other
really
thing I
good.
was thinking was just because of comparison to do splicers.
No, we're doing Get a Fenris. Sorry, man. No.
All right, European wolves it is.
Get a Fenris before the Arabian guy ruined them. That's up next week. And it'll also be the first book in Spoop Month. That'll be
Huh?
something to really look forward to. A combination of World of Darkness and maybe a bit of Call of Cthulhu. We've only really done one Call of Cthulhu book.
We should go into Call of Cthulhu.
Definitely. We're going to need to find some good modules to show off.
If you have
So
any recommended, please post it uh, in the chat or in our Discord.
I would say post it in our Discord, which I've also linked into our description, or you can comment. That's not a big deal. Or hey, you can comment on the comment that I put on this channel. I'll also try to pick Tech's brain because he's very much a Call of Cthulhu guy. It's not maybe his favorite, but it's up there. He really likes it. So we got ideas. So yeah, next week is Get a Fenris because we need something good. We need something good. God damn it. Have a good night, everyone.